Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the November guide. So, this will be a very long guide, and if you are looking for a certain challenge, let me actually first show you how this will be done, how this will be look like, and what's the structure of this guide. So, first, these exclamation marks, we already did discuss this like 1 week ago. I did a short 1 hour, 2 hours guide on these challenges, and we did a deeper look on them, but we will be discussing them in this guide too. I will do a short intro, and then we will be discussing Irelia, Zed, and other common enemies, their decks, and what is just naturally a counter to these champions and enemy decks. Then we have this one. We will not be discussing this one, we'll be discussing it in the end. But I just want you to pay attention to these changes, as they are supposed to be like easier on an easier side. And I usually call them homework. Snorlax. Homework, because, well, if we look at those challenges, you have a lot of spell mana, you have a lot of mana, Mirror Mage is pretty fun, Power of Observation is pretty fun, and Arms Race, well, usually you're just using Dreadway Chase Gun, but still, this can be fun too. Which means that these challenges are actually supposed to be fun. Then, after short intro, after discussing champions, and after like skipping this, we will start discussing these clusters. This is cluster number 1, number 2, number 3, and most likely number 4. This cluster is... how did I divide them? So, we have 5 challenges in this month that will be Blade into Darkness. And it has challenge number 44 that also has Price of Progress. So then we will be going to Price of Progress. And against Price of Progress, a pretty common answer should be Tryndamere. And if you do not have Tryndamere, this is why you are looking for this guide, this is why I'm trying to think for some really other creative ideas to help you. Tryndamere is Freljordian champion, so then we go to Fortifying Frosts. And also Tryndamere is good into this. So we just have to discuss everything as a one whole cluster. And yeah, if you were looking for something for one particular challenge, then we will be going from top to down, most likely from left to right. And yeah, good luck with that. Alright, let's go to main part of this guide. So this is November 2025, monthly challenges. If you do not know me, then hello, I'm Back. As you can tell, I've been rank 4 in this month and pretty much top 8 for the last like 2 years. I use 2-star champions, 3-star champions, and 4-star champions. I just do not really want to upgrade my collection. It will trivialize everything. So we have star level. 4 stars, 4 stars. How do I even do this? I'm so inexperienced. 4 star, 5 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Then 4 stars usually. And just, yeah, unupgraded champions. I use only free-to-play relics. So like, I see pretty much the same obstacles on our way doing challenges. I use pretty much all the same tools to solve problems. We should be on the same vibe. So, first things first. If I were to create this guide 1 year ago, I probably would have planned around everyone having just 2-star champions. Well, reality is we have a lot of fragments, just the flow of fragments is a bit different. We used to have 4 wild fragments a day and just 1 silver vault. Then was gold vault was added, we have glory store now, a lot of different things. So basically, some champions even are not really designed to be played at 2 stars, like they're just straight up weak. And usually when I say that this is good, that is good, I mean 3-star champion. And also, rule of thumb is you want champion to be at least level 20. Like sometimes you want it to be even higher. Like let's say Gwen. Gwen is a great champion, both in PvP and PvE. She's actually my favorite PvP champion. But in reality is she's really not that great at harder challenges if you're 2 stars and underleveled. You need to hit critical mass of powers. You want level 30 because you want 3 rare relics. You probably also want 4-star upgrades because that 4th star is giving you basically mass overwhelm, which is just another relic slot otherwise. So yeah, some champions are not really great at 2 stars. Some champions probably want 4 stars to be like equal to some other stronger champions. Yasuo is a great example of 3-star champion. He's one of the strongest 3-star champions. Morgana is great. Yasuo, Morgana, who else? LeBlanc is great 3-star champion. Volibear is great 3-star champion. Some champions want 4 stars, some need, some are just good enough at 2 stars. So yeah, TLDR, when I say that this should be good, the champion should be good, they say is about 3-star champion. Why level 20? Because level 20 gives you Droid champion at game start. This is really crucial and makes a lot of difference. Usually when you look at champion level rewards, the very last upgrade is really bad. I don't know why, but level 20 something, level 27 I think upgrade is usually not that vital. But sometimes you actually want level 28 or 40 Nexus health against such fights as Zed, Irelia, etc, etc. Next. I am of course using every free-to-play epic relic that I have. I want to be sandbagging, but not really that much. So, when I say this champion, I usually don't think that you have every epic relic in the game. My whole idea is that you guys have just one full build epic relic that is free to get by completing Aurelian Soul Adventure. And also, like, I expect you to have experience of just normal campaign, which means that you completed Victor fight, Azir fight, Draven fight, Lee Sin fight, maybe Aurelian Soul fight too. Because, well, sometimes we have a lot of Dravens, and I just do not feel like saying this 8 times in one guide, that Draven is summoned when round ends, and he gets double attack when he attacks, and then when he levels up, he gets overwhelmed. It's just way too much to name all enemy champions 100 and even more times throughout this guide. Alright. What else can I say? This is probably basics. If I forget something, I will say later. So let's finally jump to discussing enemy champions. Irelia, Zed, Katarina. This is like a small cluster on its own. I think we faced Irelia like 4 times this month in November, and the signature thingy of Irelia is that, just like against Zed and against Katarina, you want to kill her as soon as possible. She's 3-star champion that gets summoned for 3-star. She has attune, I think. Usually she gets 1 spell mana and Blade Dance ability if she has attack token. 3 mana cost, 5 for creature. She has Phage every time. So idea is you want to be able to kill Irelia as soon as possible, otherwise she will be scaling, usually. And that's the hardest part. She also has 5 mana recall, which is probably scariest card of your deck, and reason why. So it not just recalls your unit, it also makes your attack, which means that it's like 2 tempo in one card for just 5 mana. Against Irelia, just because of that, I usually recommend using level 25 champions and above to have Spell Shield in common relic slot, otherwise Black Shield is a great choice. Like if you don't know what to pick, just pick something that has Spell Shield. That's it. Irelia also has 2 mana burst speed, give a unit +3 +0 or +0 +3. Because, well, this is Ionia, and yeah, this is oppressive. Sometimes I recommend into Irelia something Noxian. Oh, this is my rice cooking machine, it's all good. So why do I recommend Noxians? Let's look at Darius. Darius has Death Hand, 2 mana, deal 2. Then his Constellation. Death Hand has 2 extra damage. So he has 2 mana, deal 4 to a creature. On demand. It kills Irelia. Who else has that? Samira, starting deck, Death Hand. Deal 4 damage to enemy. Summon Pora to protect you. And that's a 3 mana spell, but that's still viable. We also have Annie. Can I have it back? This one. Annie has Death Hand. Deal 2. Constellation. Deal 2 more. Constellation. Deal 2 more again. So this is actually 6 damage. For 3 mana, on demand, and by the way, if you just happen to have this Epic Relic Hidden Tomb, I never used it in my life, until I played Annie against Lysandra and Viega, and this helped a lot. You play Annie, you get 3 spell mana, you play Death Hand, this just helps and solves a lot of issues. Next, Zed. Zed is pretty much the same. He is 3 mana, 3/2 champion. Usually he has either Studded Leather or Phage, so he's usually like 4/3 or 5/4. He has Will of Ionia 4 mana recall. He has that Twin Discipline buff, +3 +0 or +0 +3 for 2 mana. He has a lot of elusive units. Oh, by the way, speaking about Irelia. So against Irelia, if you have mana flow, just happen to have some resources, oftentimes I recommend something like this. Berserker's Buckle, Luminous Orb. It gives you enough stats to block enemy, and when you survive damage, grant me +2/+2. You play champion. You block 1 Blade Dance, you get +2/+2, you do not die, and you're huge. This solves a lot of issues too, against Irelia. Frostbite works against Irelia, Stun doesn't really do that. You probably want Challenger, Mass Challenger if you want to. Champions that have extra summons every round for free can work. Gwen is fine at 3 stars. Misfortune is great, because, well, not all that shit. She not just summons 1 monkey, but she also has Make It Rain, +2 damage. So this is pretty much enough to kill Irelia if you have another +1. Or if you're using Spellslinger kind of strat. Grand General's Contraplan, Luden's Tempest, Archangel Staff, anything. Kain is obviously great choice into Irelia, but Irelia this month was pretty rough, so... and Kain has another job. Back to Zed. He has a lot of elusive units, and that Sharp Side Berserker Buckle build is even better against Zed. This is unnecessary, but this is a viable strat. Back in my days, when I had just 2-3-star champions, I had to be really creative. And my go-to into that was actually Kindred, like normal 3-star Kindred champion. I just survived using praise that are like free unit every round. I played Kindred. And then Kindred is a 4-mana champion. And your kill unit, revive unit spell is either 1 mana when you play Kindred, or it is used for 3 mana into enemy Z, so he cannot like level up or at least hit your Nexus. So I know how to protect against that. Been there, done that. That also has Ribbon Dancers, 1 Ribbon Dancer, which is Irelia's card, 2 mana cost, play creature, get Blade Dance, combined with some other powers, just in case. And his win condition is playing that into Dusk and Dawn, 4 mana, slow spell. So this creates exact copies of unit, which means that if you frostbite, if you stun that unit, it will be summoned as a stunned or frostbitten unit. If you kill that unit, ability will just miss. That's the way. Then we have Katarina. Katarina is usually 3 mana, 3/2 creature. Our win con against Katarina is just to kill her and never let her level up. Whatever, do whatever, but just do not let her level up. And always play around enemy having at least like 2, maybe 3 champions in hand. So they always start with 1, they might have another one, and they can high roll into having a 3rd one. This is where disaster happens, kind of. Because it's really hard to strategize around enemy having 3 win condition cards in hand. Because, well, usually, if you have Death Hand, you only can get 2. You just do not have other copies in your base deck. Usually Katarina is solved by 3-star Veigar. 3-star Veigar has round start, create 0 mana darkness, deal 2 into a creature. Enemy creature, which is exactly enough to kill Katarina. Do not pick Tahm Kench into Katarina, because if you try to capture her, she will just strike first and recall and level up. You can also be creative, and if you have that free-to-play epic relic Big Guns, which gives you +1 damage on every spell, you can play something like any Make It Rain of Twisted Fate, Make It Rain of Misfortune, maybe 2-star Warwick is pretty good, but Warwick is a strong generalist anyway. But, well, just in case, if you wanted to be creative, even 2-star Warwick has enough. Just in case, let me show you. Warwick Constellation, 2 stars. Create a Blood Hunt in hand. Deal 1 to a unit or a Nexus and 1 to another. And if you have big guns, it means you deal 2 to one unit, 2 to another unit, which is usually enough to kill Katarina. Not a leveled up Katarina, but normal Katarina. We have a lot of creativity. Then other Noxians and Draven. So Draven, we had 4 Dravens this month. We used to get like 8 Dravens, I think, in August or maybe September, so I decided to make him special. I had other Noxians because every fight is pretty generic, but Draven kind of is a menace against beginners. He has double attack when he attacks, and if he manages to level up, he will get overwhelmed. So every time you let Draven level up, his next attack is extremely scary. So Draven's win condition is infinite value of summoning Draven at around end. He has no overwhelm without leveling up, so if you feel like you have to kill Draven, you probably gotta actually do this. Although he will be summoned next round too. Draven's best round is usually round 2 if you have attack token round 1. So against Draven you usually want to have attack token round 2. Because, well, he summons a creature, he gets Draven on board without paying his mana cost, and then he plays something else. He also gets to get Draven's X, probably to level him up. And we just had 5 mana. And if he has Vicious Enemy, if he has some other powers, this can be a threat. He is 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 strong. And by the way, if you played Draven in his adventure, that adventure gives Overwhelm for free. Usually Draven doesn't have that. So he's not as scary because he doesn't get free Overwhelm, but he's also scary because he has other powers, which usually include extra mana. Against Draven I usually feel like playing probably Caitlyn, because, well, traps detonate at round start when enemy draws card, and Draven is always summoned at round end. You probably already understand the logic. It's kind of fine to play Morgana into Draven. You can stun enemy that has no spell shield. His only removal is Reckoning, he doesn't have Challenger, Draven is go face. And Morgana is like, well, you wanna hit me for 16, this is my blocker, and that is Morgana healing up me for 8. So we are just stabilizing board and then most likely winning up using either Guardian Angel or Chemtech Duplicator. So this is fine. Other Noxians, pretty generic fights, nothing really to say. Swain is pretty generic. Darius only... weak card? How do you even call it? He has only one cunning thing that he can do. An enemy, if Darius has Darius on board, get Rally. So like, if he is winning, he will be winning more. That's it. Swain is generic. Who else? Noxians are easy. Ezreal. So, Targon Ezreal. This is pretty much bane of existence. Ezreal is extremely annoying and we actually faced him 6 times this month. He uses spells and like if he has 5 mana round 1 and he used 4 spells, he probably summoned Forge Workers, 2 creatures 3/3, he can give them extra stats forever, infinite. +2/+2 or +3/+3, I do not remember that card. And if he still has 1 mana left and Static Shock, he will most likely use Static Shock. So if you feel like you just don't want to play any card, if you do not want your 6/1 creature to be hurt, then you just pass, and pass again until enemy is out of cards, out of mana, and out of Static Shock. And next round, he will always try to use a Static Shock in response. This is actually crucial, so you can like provoke him to use this card and disable some other potential things he can do. Ezreal is annoying because it's really hard to attack into him. Well, Targon Ezreal is annoying. He has 1 mana Celestial card, stun 2 creatures. So once again, you probably want Mass Spell Shield if you just do not know what to pick. It gives you some stability in your attacks. Otherwise, it can be hard to finish him in one attack or when you feel like you need to attack. He also has a swap bot, so you do not want to play just one creature, you want to go wide and high too. Ezreal himself is elusive. That build that I showed on Ari, let me show you again, Berserker Buckle and Sharp Side. Like, once again, this is fine. It works against Ezreal. Well, against Ezreal and against elusive units you probably want Mass Challenger anyway. like this. Mm-hmm. My cat wants to sit in the first row. Please do not... Oh boy. I was saying... Yeah, Ezreal, you wanna go wide and you wanna go tall. You always need to have in your head idea that he might stun 2 of your attackers and he might have a swap bot, just in case. So pretty much common choices against Ezreal are, in my case, Yasuo or maybe Snorlax. Please do not. Yasuo because he is strong, Evelynn because she can deny enemy stun, and she can also level up many times. She gets a lot of stats everywhere, so you're like scaling both wide and high. And some other cases are Curator's Gatebreaker, or like your possibilities to break enemy face without actually enemy counterplaying it, without enemy standing your units and stuff like that. Then Kaisa. She has really weak round 1, but she has extremely strong round 2. So she might be playing Poro into something else. Every creature is like 1-1, 2-2, 1-1 round 1. But next round every creature gets +1/+1 and random keyword. And if evolve happens, then enemy Kaisa will be just way too big. If she has just 5 men round 2, she might be playing level 2 Kaisa and doing just way too much tempo. Snorlax. So main win condition against Kaisa is actually either having stun strongest enemy every round to control Kaisa, or just control board from round start, from game start. In my case, this is usually Volibear, 3 stars Volibear. Misfortune is okay, Make It Rain, especially if you have Make It Rain +2 damage. Twisted Fate is a bit rough, but if you have Mana Flow, he is probably one of the greatest choices against Kaisa. Picking of some defensive champions, then Caitlyn is great. You can just have Guardian Angel and Stalker's Blade, 3 stars, and you're pretty much good to go. Ekka is kind of okay. You want 1 or 2 Stalker's Blades, you can get stats, and also you usually do not mind sacrificing Ekka because you probably have another one, or you have Corona Break anyway. And leveled Evelynn and Yasuo with Tempest Blade, just another 2 great choices. Kaisa is probably one of my least favorite enemies to play against, not because she's annoying, but because you usually want to underestimate her, and she's just... If she has a vicious enemy, she's just strong. She did ruin my 70 out of 70 without defeats at least twice, no joke. And it was like challenges 45 or 48 and something else. Next, Lulu and Adoribus. Once again, we have this power or Lulu 8 times this month. Adoribus rule is our strongest follower, which is not a champion, gets transformed into 1/1 squirrel and gets silenced. So usually, let's actually do a full guide for this one right now. So I have a lot of tooltips that will be shown throughout main part of our guide. This is what I usually recommend into Adoribus or Lulu. Both of the Guardians. This is Epic Relic, free-to-play Epic Relic that shuffles 5 level 2 champions into your deck, random champions, and you get to draw 1 instantly. It works great with Star Gems. Let me show you. So yeah, both of the Guardians, Star Gem, LA champions cost 2 less. So if you have 2-star gems, every champion will be 4 less expensive. Every champion will just cost 4 less. If you draw 5 cost champion, it will cost 1. Great strat against Adoribus and Lulu. Then we have Aching Spirit, which pretty much follows the very same idea. You wanna be playing champions. So, Lilia, how do we play Lilia? We play Lilia. We play Lilia spell onto Lilia to sleep Lilia, and then we play another Lilia. Then we have 2 Lilia on board, that's Lilia, and we Lilia his face. That's it. Echo uses Aching Spirit greatly. Nora pretty much the same. You can say that Nora's Aching Spirit power lies in that she gets +3/+1 instantly, but it's not just that. Oh, Nora always goes white every time, so the fact that enemy has Adoribus onto 1 unit, this is just... it gets completely denied because we have 4 other followers on board. Great. Tryndamere. Tryndamere plays Aching Spirit, this is his best in slot epic relic. Aching Spirit is just best epic relic anyway in the game, kind of. It's very versatile, generally good, and you can actually have a lot of champions at this line. I'm just giving some variants. Diana can work with Aching Spirit, you play Diana. And if you have Corrupted Star Fragment, you can also buff another unit with your 1 mana cost buff. And using Corrupted Star Fragment, you will just get those not permanent stats as a permanent stat increase. Ahri, it's not really a way to play Ahri, but this is a viable option. You play Ahri, you just recall Ahri to play Ahri, you get a lot of spirit on a champion. And also Lulu has Homecoming, which is a 4 mana recall. So Ahri is pretty much good into Lulu in this way. You can just play this champion. Misfortune, well, obviously Misfortune can solve pretty much any puzzle, any challenge. She's just in the list because she can. Well, next, more interesting part, Aatrox and Vayne. These two are pretty much of the strongest 4-star champions. The neat part about Aatrox and Vayne is, so you have them at 1 star, 2 star, create in hand 2 random Darken equipment, yeah, that's kind of whatever. Equipped ally strikes, reduce cost of random card in hand by 2. This is actually huge and a really enjoyable playstyle if you do not have Aatrox at 3 stars. If you're hesitating, he is a pretty cool champion at 3 stars. And then the neat part about Vayne and Aatrox, 4-star upgrade is just next to 3 stars. You do not need to invest too many fragments into that. You need just 10 star crystals, and that's it. And 60 fragments, of course, too. But this is extremely strong power. So equipment or attachment, at least with this, have +2/+2, which means that you can play 1 mana 2/4 creature, equip it with this +2/+2, and it becomes 4/6 stuff, 6/8 stuff. And even if it gets silenced, you're still having this +2/+2 and this +2/+2, so you have 5/5 squirrel on board. And well, Lulu just cannot handle that. Vayne is pretty much the same. Vayne is a 1-star, Golden Spatula, 2 stars, Scout, so we can go face another Golden Spatula, and then 4 stars, just next to 3-star upgrade. Vayne isn't really as strong because she has no lifesteal, but yeah, she's fine. No Furious Wilder, but you know, Demacia is a great region and you can draft a lot of cool stuff throughout adventure if you're playing just normal adventure. Next, I just wanted to mention Thresh in this build, Disciple of Shadows and Succubus brand. Well, actually, once again, let me show you this one, because we're doing a complete Adoribus guide, I guess. Although, you know, I just released one video about Adoribus. Just this week. I think so. Alright, so what is Thresh and why these two relics? He is a 5 mana challenger, and Disciple of Shadow is free to play epic relic. I cost 1 less for each ally in play. Play, deal 3 to all other allies, which means that you probably can kill them. The Succubus brand. When I kill a unit, summon a random husk. And his constellation, his new updated constellation pretty much revolves around this combination. Game start, summon exactly this guy. Then we have Warden Spray, Shadow Totem. So you are just mulliganing for this one card. You play it with Shadow Totem, 1 mana, 2 creatures on board. This has Farsight Alteration, 1 mana, 2 creatures on board. And 4-star upgrade, another 1 creature. 5 creatures on board using 2 mana. We summon Thresh instantly. We have 5 husks. And the very next card we play will get buffs, will get all those buffs. And also Thresh will level up. And he will pull just a random champion from your deck on his attack. Beautiful. Next I have Bluetooth fights in this list. Mel, Annie and Nika can counter Lulu by playing Dreadway Chase Gun in any combination. So you just play Mel, 3 mana champion, Dreadway Chase Gun, rare relic, preferably 2. Like, you want 2 or 3. You have warning shots. Let me show you once again. I just feel like I just did it in our Adoribus video and I'm discussing it again. Yeah, a bit weird. That movie, yeah. So, something like this. Or maybe with a King Spirit. Or maybe with Chameleon's Necklace. Create 2 copies of me in your deck. What is Warning Shot? 0 mana, deal 1 to enemy nexus. Mel's power is increase damage of a spell by 1 every time you use it, so it will be 1 damage, 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage. And if we play another Mel, it will be 5 damage, 6 damage, 7 damage, 8 damage. This is like 30 something, 36 probably, which is usually enough to kill any enemy. Annie has +2, Pyromania +2 in tailored, so every warning shot is just 3 damage. And we pretty much counter Lulu by not playing her rules, playing our own game. Jhin and Vex, they have at 4 stars Explosive Finale and they can just win this way. Their Crush or Level Up Rally, this is pretty much a nice strat too. I used to win against Lulu using Jax because, well, he has equipment and other champions just didn't have those 4-star powers. And Jax's power is when equipped ally attacks, granted like +3/+1. So we summon creature, we give it equipment, it gets transformed into Squirrel. Next round is whatever Lulu is attacking. Then we summon Jax and we attack with Jax with that another creature and maybe a 3rd creature too. Jax probably can level up. If he does, we attack again and that's like 30 damage in 1 round. Great. Allies, a lot of minions, their Crush, Luxie is alright too. Needily only if you have that Transmogulator and Spectral Scissors combination. Combo kill, 1 turn kill, Master Yi is great generalist. I mean, he is pretty much stable if you draw Master Yi and another spell that he wants. Leona Lux just generally good at combo killing and surviving till 6 mana and using Chemtech Duplicator to win against enemy in one attack. Kinda viable too. Well, Tyne and Garen, they can scale, they get +2/+2 every time they do their thingy, and you just usually want to play these champions when you're playing their decks. This is why they are okay and viable. Next, Jinx and Misfortune and Fizz. So these three will be in our month like 20 times. Jinx was 6 times this month, and what is her signature thing? When she attacks, she gets the Death Rocket, 3 mana to our Nexus and 1 to every creature. On its own, it's fairly weak, but usually she has some different powers that work for her, such as small stuff, legendary small stuff, or maybe mortal marks. We just gotta pay attention to that. Generally speaking, Jinx is really weak. She gets to play all her cards within 3 rounds. Those creatures are usually like 1/1, 0/2. Jinx is 4 mana, 5/4 I think, or 4/3. Snorlax, make up your mind. No, do not touch. Cable is bad. Because of Mystic Shot, because of Get Excited, you usually do not want to... You usually don't want to get lower than like 8, maybe 10 health, and at 12-14 you should be already a bit sweating, but usually she's easy. She gets countered by some AoE, and once again, rare relic, Berserker's Buckle. Snorlax, no. She's touching this. She's biting this. Ta-ta-ta. Misfortune, Fizz, 2 weak enemies once again. So, Misfortune will be just playing every card. Every card that she gets, her hand will be empty by around 4, and she is usually getting carried by powers. She is one of the weakest champions in the game. Her deck is one of the weakest enemy decks in the game. Fizz is pretty much same, he goes wide, he has some elusives, and you just have to understand that you sometimes cannot really target Fizz, because he might get his spell that he randomly generated. Pay attention to that spell that is randomly generated. Try to have some AoE like Twisted Fate, Misfortune, etc, etc. And once again, Berserker Buckle, Sharp Sight Relic, great combination into this. At some point, Misfortune, Fizz and Jinx just will stop attacking. Against these enemies you probably want something like Tough. If you are feeling uncomfortable, you might use Rare Relic that gives Tough to your Nexus. Usually Thresh, Nasus can scale off enemy horde, well, in a way that Thresh gets +2, +1/+1 for every enemy killed. Nasus gets +2/+2 for every enemy killed. Thresh is 1/1 for every creature that has died. And yeah, just use Berserker Buckle and Sharp Sight Luminous Orb. You're good to go. Pay attention to enemy powers. They are supposed to be easy enemies unless they have good powers. Nautilus. We will face Nautilus 6 times this month. He is really not scary, but usually you should be picking one plan to play against Nautilus. You either play around Chemtech Duplicator, or you're doing a complete rush them down, Zerg rush without any buybacking. And also you probably want Spell Shield into Nautilus because he has Riptide Stun, attacking enemy, and he also has Shuffle this creature of yours into your library. That's the only bad thing that can happen. And generally speaking, you want, once again, spell shield on your champion at level 25, or you want black shield, mass spell shield as epic relic if you have that. I usually pick Chemtech Duplicator into Nautilus, because, well, if he gets good powers, then it's really hard to kill vicious enemy Nautilus. Next, Yasuo. Yasuo is pretty much weak. So Yasuo himself is 4-4 weak attack. He has really weak units. He has one elusive unit. His Yona is 6-6 creature, I think, sometimes 7-7. I'm not sure. And his win condition is his Yasuo is level 2. He stuns your unit when he attacks, and Yasuo kills it. So we always want to kill enemy Yasuo. That's it. Like, he's really bad at rushing you down. Even if you just AFK 3 rounds in a row, maybe even 3 attacks in a row, he probably will not be able to kill you. Like, you can have all your mana that you want. Just 35 Nexus health is enough, usually. And Karma, well, Karma is just because we have this list next, pretty much. So this list is home task. We will be discussing it later, but please be mindful that these rules are meant to be fun, and please be creative. Alright. And we finally get to discuss our clusters. Blade in the Darkness. Just this one special rule first. This is a special rule of Z that, well, actually any champion can actually get. And if you're facing Z that gets to get this power, then it will trigger twice. Be mindful about that. Like, we have this weekly right now. Error portal. Blade in the Darkness. If the player's Nexus took damage this round, the 4th strongest unit strikes it, and that will get it twice. It's extremely scary. But generally speaking, so enemy will proc every on-strike effect. So if there is Demacian Might, enemy will get that Demacian Might plus stats. If Swain gets that Blade in the Darkness, and if there is actually a Swain on board, then it will be 3 extra damage because of Swain's level 1 ability, or extra damage to everyone because of his level 2 ability. And also this Blade in the Darkness is non-combat damage, so it will enable Swain's level up even faster. Also, if this is a level 2 Swain and if everyone gets damaged, then it will be also triggering Suffer next round start. For like board control, this power just doesn't do anything. It just doesn't bring anything to the table. In fact, we sometimes will like trade on enemy terms. We will do unfavorable trade because, well, if we are under-leveled, then we just gotta take that take that bad hit. But otherwise, it might be irrelevant power in a fight. Oh yes, Feast of Famine. Alright. Challenge number 26. Finally, we get to discuss challenges. We are fighting Fizz and Jinx. Blade in the Darkness, Guided Meditation. Nothing really to say. Jinx will get to proc Blade in the Darkness every time she attacks because of Death Rocket. Fizz has a lot of elusives. Sharp Sight, Luminous Orb, and Berserker Buckle can counter this, outscale, but generally speaking, we want to play around Guided Meditation. We want to utilize this 10 mana correctly, we want Chemtech Duplicator, and probably I should have did this guide first. Never mind. So we're playing around 10 mana. We want Chemtech Duplicator, and do I have a list? Yeah, I do. So this bottom line, Bard is fine with Chemtech Duplicator, Morgan is fine with Chemtech Duplicator, Leona. You level up, you play everything. You play Leona, you play Ravun, preferably. You just mulligan for Ravun every time. You try to level up, you're playing spells, and you can win. And a lot of champions are missing here in the list too, because they're just at top. Like, Lilia will just play 3 Lilias round 1. Real Blossom Aries surely gets to play a lot of things. Gale will kill every unit every round. Snorlax. Why? Why has a lot of draw, a lot of spells, great champion. Nami, Chemtech Duplicator, Ambessa, works with Chemtech Duplicator. Tryndamere, yes. King, yes. Varus, pretty much yes. Heimerdinger, personally not a fan, but people seem to play with Chemtech Duplicator. Probably they are just under-leveled and do not have enough, like, sources to control the board otherwise. Not sure about this one. Luxie and Normal Lux. Normal Lux is great. She pretty much is balanced around having Chemtech Duplicator. Without it, she is really like not that strong of a champion. Lee Sin, yes, anytime, great pick. Illaoi, if you're a fan, please do this. Kindred can be fine too. And in the bottom, Jace said, yeah, all good. Jenna, why not? Veigar usually has another job. That was challenge 26. Next, challenge 44. By the way, if we are not discussing Fizz, Misfortune, Jinx, Snorlax, that's because we already have discussed it. Please, you're scaring me. Atata. Oh my god. Challenge 44. The price of progress, Blatant Darkness. We are facing Tempo Warriors, Azir and Irelia. Yeah, this one can be scary. It is actually in the list of hard challenges. I completed this one on Nika, and you can always look up all those fights in my VOD channel. I have normal, like speedrun, and a cut edited speedrun if you want, without like ad breaks and at a faster speed. So Nika is just great into price of progress. So I try to play her every time, at least once a month to show up what she can do. Generally speaking, about this challenge, we want to play around price of progress special rule. This should be this one. Tryndamere because he has call to arms. Mastery because, well, we just play Mastery for 3 mana and then we pretty much win on our first attack. We want full build, we can use Crown Guard Inheritance, we can use Spell Shield as a level 25 upgrade to prevent like recalls and such. Gale, you play any creature for 2 mana, for 1 mana, for 3 mana. If you can play 1 for 1 mana, of course. You use Blessing of Targon, and that's it. That's how you win. Nika can be played both in Go Face style and in Spellslinger style, but either way you need Echoing Spirit. Luden's Tempest Echoing Spirit build is in my videos just last week, I think. I was playing Mirror Mage, but this is pretty much the same. Luke C is fine because, well, you just play one creature, and then you use Barrier anytime. And when you use Barrier on a creature, it will also get Spirit and Impact. This way we get better trades, and that's how we win. We can also use Archangel Staff or Lost Chapter when we play Luke C. We can also use Mass Challenger to trade against Irelia, to trade against Azir. We also can use Crown Guard Inheritance once again if we want to finish enemy as soon as possible, but probably with that we want Mass Overwhelm. And a great choice can also be... oh, it will be later. Nami. So idea about Nami is we play Nami, 3 mana creature, she will become 4 mana, right? No. She will become 4 mana creature, yeah. And we will just heal up, because every spell is basically free. We target our Nexus whenever we wanna heal up, and that's how this challenge is solved. Normal Lux is just... she just works. You mulligan for a spell, you get extra mana crystal, and that's it. Lee Sin, because this should be pretty much obvious. If you have him at 3 stars, you play 2 spells, your creature gets +8/+8, you trade the way you want to, you kill Irelia this way, and that's it. Ambessa. Well, second line is really not as good, but they're just viable. Ambessa has her 2-star power, discount for that spell. Illaway, you do not need to play creatures. Sometimes you just play spells to summon Tentacle, to spawn as much as you can, and we play around spells. Janna, not really a fan, but she's playable too. Mordekaiser, you will get to play Deathless every round for free. Fiddlesticks, he is fine, you sacrifice all your units pretty much, you play around Nightmare Fiddlesticks, you just control enemy board, and also his 4-star upgrade Disarmed is really good into Irelia and Azir. Grand General's Contraplan, in example Nora. So Grand General's Contraplan is a rare relic that when your champion is on board, you will create copy of it at round start. Fleeting copy, which means that we get to play signature spell of that champion. And Nora's one is draw card, create portals. That's the way to create creatures on board. By playing Nora for 3 mana, by playing her signature spell this way, and it will be great. It works. It's really rough against Irelia. It's kind of not as rough, but a bit tough against Azir, and well, anyway, this just works. By the way, this is like 2 fights challenge. So against tougher enemies, you always want to pay attention to the shop that you get in 2 fight adventures challenges. If you're fighting against 2, there always will be shop. Just make up your mind. Sometimes you want extra cards, more like different spells. Sometimes you want upgrades on cards that you know will definitely be win condition for you. Like, if you have Vex or any, you probably are looking for extra spells, because every spell is just buffed. Every spell will deal 2 extra damage. If you feel like playing exactly Death Hand, then Samira, Darius, and maybe Annie once again are looking for upgrade for that very spell in the shop. Such stuff like that. Taking Spirit example for this one, yeah, their signature spells will be just much cheaper, and this will work. And also we can think about using Pact Powder, or maybe another Plunder -2 mana cost relic to get our champion for less. Frozen Tomb. Front Tomb. I didn't fix it. it is just great. Like, you really don't want to play Heimerdinger for 6 mana, it's just so bad. So Frozen Tomb is great. And Hymn of Valor on any champion, heal up to full, get extra stats, pretty much for 1 mana, great choice. Next we have challenge 56. Was it it? Out of these all champions, probably Master Yi is the best actually. Like, of course, if you have idea how to play Nika, if you have Fair Cleaving Axe and Echoing Spirit to just kill enemy in 1 round, Nika is great. If you have idea how to play Tryndamere, Tryndamere is great for Price of Progress, he's best in slot. And Master Yi is easiest to enable him. And he has no problem. He's like 1 card miracle. I mean, Tryndamere is pretty much 1 card miracle too. Mulligan for spells. Yeah, that's true. Next we have challenge 56. Viega. Combat Awareness and Blade in the Darkness. So Viega doesn't really synergize with Combat Awareness. All units have Scout. He has some elusive units, or ephemeral units, so it's not really as scary. And also the fact that there is no extra mana on Viega, this should be a pretty much generic fight. Nothing much. This shouldn't be hard. One thing that probably can go wrong, he plays a kill spell onto our non-spell shielded win condition. That's pretty much it. Also keep in mind that Viega in monthly challenges outside of Galio Adventure is much easier. He doesn't get to have spell shield, he doesn't get to have those upgrades on Downing Shadow. It's not an infinite spell and draw 1, it's just a kill spell. He has Vengeance, he has Heroine, but without extra mana it's really hard for him to get there. Actually, let's look up Combat Awareness tier list. Like, Viega is pretty much not that strong. Blade in the Darkness is easy. And another power, this. So we will be discussing Combat Awareness, right? Yeah, right here. Well, I guess this is our first time encountering this, so let's discuss everything. Why is Gwen good into this? Well, because she scales multiplicatively. Every time at least someone attacks, that someone gets power from Hallowed, and Gwen gets that power too. So we attack 1 time, we get +X+X. We attack another time because of Scout, we get 2x, 2x Hallowed stacks. And those Hallowed stacks also help Gwen to snip enemy even faster and heal up even more. Jax. Jax is one of the best choices because, well, you just generally do not want to use Jax in harder encounters. He doesn't have Constellation and like he is lacking some upgrades. He is what he is, and that's it. Sometimes champions in tier lists are first because, well, you just gotta use them in these powers because otherwise you're not really using them. Diana, pretty much the same reason. She's really good at attacking, she has double attack, you need to solve overwhelm issue, and that's it. Illaoi, she's just great into scout. Like, you play Illaoi as soon as you can on 4 mana, and if it is your attacking round, then you just most likely win, because you have way too much on board. And if you have Spectral Scissors or Shadow Totem, Overkill is like, she's Ornn but better. She's 4 mana champion that does as much as Ornn does, and Ornn is 7 mana champion, which is capable of doing like 100 attack using Spectral Scissors. Elise, pretty much self-explanatory. You read her 3-star power, you get Dream of Yordle's common relic, and that's it. You attack with Alice, you can use Corrupted Star Fragment, you can use Spell Shield, you can use Overwhelm, you can use Beast Within if you have that, you can use full build, you can use Mass Challenger if you really want to. For me, Corrupted Star Fragments and Dream of Yordles is already enough to be extremely strong. Outside of Nightmare Adventures, this is usually enough. Next row is Solid Choice, because, well, those champions are not as great probably, or have another job, but they still can use Scout, benefit from it, and kill enemy in at best 2 attacks. Well, generally speaking, Combat Awareness is a power that either you win in 2 attacks or you lose in 2 enemy attacks. That's it. So Kaisa has a lot of raw stats. Nika is just a zoo. I'm forgetting the word. Well, basically she used to be like a zoo deck. You play one creature, you play another creature. Next round you play one creature, you play another creature. Next round you play big creature. Like on 4 mana you play 6 mana drop. And that's it. You just go face, rush enemy down. Action, he really is good with Scout. You get to play action as soon as possible. You get to get extra stats from from that landmark, okay? I'm a bit cooked here, yeah. Alright, he's good at scout encounters, but you probably want him to be leveled. He is much rather level dependent instead of star dependent, like 2 stars is probably okay. And against harder adventures you probably want a King Spirit and 220 fragments invested into him, otherwise he's actually not that solid and lacks some board control. Ambessa, 3-star power, pretty much the same as Elise. You just attack, everyone gets +1/+1. LeBlanc, once again you just attack, you level LeBlanc up, and she's just great, she is strong. You need just one Stalker's Blade, you level up LeBlanc as soon as possible. You attack, another LeBlanc with Stalker's Blade is summoned. If she has Guardian Orb, then everyone gets epics, great. Third line, this can work, because, well, Master Yi, Lee Sin have timed buffs. So you do your combo and you have +8/+8 or whatever stats on Master Yi for the whole round, and you attack twice. Luxie, she will just pretty much kill enemy because she's aggro deck. Caitlyn is great at defense, and she's not really winning, but 1 extra attack or 3 extra spell mana at game start is pretty much what she's lacking to be great. Without mana flow, you cannot play Caitlyn round 1, and if you have that 4-star upgrade and do not have mana flow, like this scout is actually what you're lacking, because that elusive unit will trap just enough into enemy library. Garen, 3-star upgrade. Lilia, not great, but she can benefit from having scout. She has raw stats too. Nar is just like aggro deck, so you can win within 2 attacks, but you gotta calculate. He is hard to play and generally not really recommended outside of like Bandle City discount. And last line, these have a better job usually. Yeah, Misfortune has another job, but she can use Scout. Jhin is actually fine into Scout. He can be as a solid choice, because, well, you just play that 1 mana drop, 2 mana drop, you attack, everyone is scaling, and that's great. Irelia, pretty much like Akshan, you either have levels and maybe some relics, or you have invested into her constellation, because she is great if you invested enough to go north to upgrade a Phage for that beer guy, beer stone man. Let me show you. Constellation 1, 2, 3, supply stone, and this grumpy rock beer has Phage. If you have invested enough to get that, then she is good into Scout. Otherwise, you better be experienced. Nora is great. Atrox, he has a better job. Warwick, great generalist. Vayne, just because of Tumble, she can get attack token during enemy round, so she's in the list. And Yumi, of course, well, she's just great. You are scaling, you have raw stats, you have barrier, if you really want to, at 4 stars. She is fine. And this way we were discussing challenge 56. Completed with Gwen. Well, she also happened to be among best choices. Generally speaking, yes. One of the go-tos into combat awareness. Next. Oh, nice. Challenge 69. We have Noxian discount, vicious enemy, blatant darkness, and beyond mirror flash. So this beyond mirror flash isn't really doing that much, but it is at least doing something. This is actually like easiest Jinx challenge in this month. After challenge 40, 43 and 45 are actually harder. Because if you do not have Strength of Stone, this one is definitely easiest. So Beyond Mirror Flash, +1/+1 gives +1/+1 to every elusive aura, to all those challenger units, and to Jinx herself, but that's just +1/+1. Pretty much, although this is challenge 69 and almost the end, we have almost completed all challenges. And although this is like dividable by 3, we are really lucky to get this. So we have Noxian discount, which makes it really easy. I completed it with LeBlanc, right? Right. Great Noxian champion, one of the strongest 3-star champions in the game. And this can also be completed by using Berserker Buckle, Luminous Orb if you really want to. Mel looks great into this. Let me take a look. Oh. What's good about Mel? So Jinx goes white, and she doesn't really get a lot of stats. If your Mel is at least somewhat upgraded, then this power, no, not this power, when you kill a unit with a spell, deal 2 to all other enemies and the enemy nexus. So you pretty much kill one, you find a way to kill one, and then you will easily kill another one, and the third one, and that's it. Even this build is fine. We can also use Grand General's counter plan. No, not Grand General's counter plan. We can cosplay Jinx, the loose cannon's payload, and this to protect ourselves. This works too. Otherwise, well, usually just naturally when you have discounts for one region, you just pick one of champions from that region pretty much. So Blatant Darkness was discussed, Beyond Mere Flesh doesn't really do much. Jinx Guide was in the beginning, and this is just a generic challenge, nothing really to discuss. Next we have Challenge 70. This is rough. I completed it with Warwick because, well, I guess I'm into extreme sports. Vicious Enemy, Chorus of Power, Blatant Darkness, and we also have Forced Workout. Not really a fan of Forced Workout. I'm yet to be creative into this one. So here we have Swain. And Swain has a lot of mana, right? Due to Vicious Enemy and Chorus of Power. Chorus of Power usually means that enemies around 2 is the strongest. Like, enemy plays one creature using Chorus of Power, or using Vicious Enemy another creature, sometimes third creature. Then all those creatures give enemy extra mana because of Chorus of Power, and round 2 this is like 8 mana just out of the blue. And because of Blatant Darkness, Swain will get level up really easily, and I feel like AI was also updated like recently within several months, maybe during Speed Blossom update, and AI became much better in calculating end of round results. So this challenge is actually well, at least for me it was harder than expected. Swain can be played round 2, and if he has attack token, he might actually be already leveled up. He might be attacking using Overwhelm. Due to Forced Workout, he will get twice that power, and due to Blatant Darkness, he will attack again, deal 3 again, and what can we even do? So I used Warwick because his play ability is Strike Enemy, Stalker's Blade is Strike Enemy again, and then using Gale Force. Gale Force is just generally good into Forced Workout. You will attack twice, which is 2x power, then x2 again, then x2 again, and x2 again, like 4, 8, 16, 32. It should be enough to kill 50 health Swain, although I did lose first fight. Into Forced Workout, Warwick is usually okay just either way. You probably also want to use Gatebreaker builds, not against this one, especially if you're under-leveled, under-prepared, then Gatebreaker will be just... it takes time to develop. Like, yeah, if you have a 6 stars Ashe, easy. But if you're playing Gatebreaker Kale, that wants at least 3 rounds to play Blessing of Targon once, twice, thrice, then you gotta be planning to win within 3 rounds pretty much. And you also need to control Swain as soon as he gets on the table. So Frostbite will help, Kill Spell, any kill will help, but it's really hard to kill Swain. Why is an option into Gatebreakers and into Forced Workout? If you have that idea, it can work. Ahri is great into this. I really do not have this muscle memory, but there is one Ahri build that pretty much should be played at her 6-star upgrade. It should be like Packed Powder and Creator's Gatebreaker. So we play Ahri, she strikes enemy Nexus, she becomes +1/+1 and 0 mana cost. We want Aching Spirit to recall Ahri. We play Ahri, she strikes, she gets x2 power, +1/+1. We recall her, that's like Spirit once, Spirit twice, we play her again for free. She strikes again, she gains Spirit buff, we recall her again, and this is like win round 1. Mulligan for Ahri herself. I think last month or maybe in September I used Diana into Forced Workout just to see that this is possible on Diana. She gets double attack, you can have Corrupted Star Fragment, and any Overwhelm. So there is really not much to say. If you play around doubling your power, double attack, and that's it. If you can have Gale Force, this is even better. Like Gale Force, Overwhelm, through full build probably, and something else. Next, Price of Progress. Let's get back to Challenge 44. Azir and Irelia. Price of Progress. So we've discussed this Price of Progress a lot when we were discussing Challenge 44. Let's not repeat everything, let's just go through challenges. Challenge... which one? 42. Misfortune Yasuo. Both enemies were discussed at the beginning of the guide. Price of Progress. Yes, Afterimage. So what's good about Afterimage? Round start. The floor revives ephemeral copy of our strongest dead follower, which means that it will happen every round. And it will always revive strongest dead follower no matter when it died. Sovereign's Domination revives follower that died last round, and this one revives just any strongest dead follower from this game as a whole. So if enemy has summon turret at round start, once there was 8/8 turret, then he will summon 8/8 turret from that power and another ephemeral 8/8 turret from this Afterimage. So this is also why we're discussing Sovereign's Domination and Afterimage next, pretty much. Against this... let me actually show you Afterimage too. Add picture and... this way. Price of Progress guide. Right here. Afterimage. What do we want to play into Afterimage? Usually this is just a skill issue, I guess, but once again, generally speaking, we want to play champions, we can trade champions and stuff like that. Therefore, we have Oath of the Guardians as line number 2, which is in a pretty beautiful green. We have Best in Slot at top as Kaisa, because she has a lot of raw stats. Every player triggers Evolve separately, so if you have that 1 mana drop Evolve Link that is 2/2 and you pop Evolve, that Evolve Link gets +2/+2. This is a 4/4 1 mana drop. Then you also have 2-star power. Your allies with 3+ keywords have +2/+2, so this is 1 mana 6/6 and enemy doesn't get anything from that if you sacrifice this evolving. Therefore, Kaisa is just generally speaking a great pick into this Afterimage. And Sovereign's Domination too. Atrox, Vayne. due to Arm to the Teeth 4-star upgrade, they're just great. Even just like against Adoribus, even if you're equipping 1-1 unit, you're getting all stats from equipment and 2-2 from 4-star upgrade. So you can play something cheap, get a good equipment, even sacrifice it, and enemy will just get that weak creature. Equipment still will be yours to keep. LeBlanc and Ekka. So these two champions want Stalker's Blade, and they kind of resolve around enemy having something. Like LeBlanc's mirror image means that you want to hit something to cycle this infinitely, otherwise you're pretty much losing value. Ekka, pretty much the same, you want to play Ekka, use 1 or 2 Stalker's Blades to predict as much as possible, get stronger followers or maybe even stronger Ekka. You might also want to sacrifice Ekka to play a stronger Ekka, especially if that second one has like Spell Shield or Lifesteal or Elusive maybe. That's the way they work. Then Caitlyn. Caitlyn is here because you want to play Caitlyn. Like, I'm missing a line of Aching Spirit here, but it should be here too. So against Afterimage, you probably want to play Champions, just like against Adoribus, and when playing Caitlyn, you're playing Caitlyn. You can have Guardian Angel anytime you want, because, well, she is your win condition, and you do not really need Grand General's Counterplan Archangel Staff. She's just fine the way she is. And once again, all those things that input more traps, even if enemy gets those, he's not getting triple damage. So it's really not as bad. Any Aching Spirit champion is great too. Combo kill is in the line because... So Afterimage revives follower at round start. So it's really hard to cheap to get free damage onto enemy. And sometimes you just wanna plan your attack using Chemtech Duplicator at 6 mana, just like to kill him in one turn. Hymno Follower is great too, because, well, this is a buff. One buff will make a huge difference sometimes. And one thing that we probably do not want if we are under-leveled, under-prepared, this is playing ephemeral units. So Evelynn using husks, this can go bad. It's rarely, barely, never, but it can go bad. Like if you're getting Spell Shield Husk, enemy getting Spell Shield Husk, this can go wrong. Mordekaiser resolves around killing your own allies, so enemy will always have something to revive. Viega, your own mist might be going to enemy Viega or any other champion, and it will be scaling too. Gwen is in the list because she has ephemeral units, and this list is also about Sovereign's Domination, so even if nothing was dead in previous round, Gwen still summons that ephemeral ally that gives hollowed to your deck pretty much, and enemy will get those stacks permanently until the end of the game. Ornn is in this build because he's just scaling and he's usually weak into Afterimage, and Ornn and Jax are in the list because they have that 4 mana drop that improvises, and if you give this creature to enemy, then enemy will get that equipment, because improvise is on summon effect. We have so much stuff on screen. Oh. Misclick, Jax, starting deck, Combat Cook. When I'm summoned, I improvise. When I'm summoned, choose one of 2 random options from a depleting pool of equipment and equip it. So every time enemy gets this weapon master, he will improvise. And sometimes that can be scout weapon, that can be first attack weapon, that can be overwhelm weapon. That can go wrong. When I'm summoned, I improvise. When I'm summoned, I improvise. That's it. So we just do not want to give enemy extra free stats. Like enemy is already scaling, and this will be extra scaling for enemy. And we were discussing challenge 42, right? Yeah, we were discussing Afterimage. This one was completed by Tryndamere, but we just want to look at price of progress. And enemies are weak. Like this misfortune gets carried by Afterimage. Even with Afterimage, even with such legendary power, this is just not enough. Yasuo can kind of go wrong, but if we follow the Yasuo guide just to kill him, his only creature that is worth noting is Yone, right? And that's like 5-6 drop. So we have several turns to prepare. Should be fine. Next we have challenge 21. Price of progress, Vanguard lookout. Nothing much, we just follow the price of progress hint, and that's it. Tryndamere, Fiora. Well, let's talk about this too. So Fiora is usually countered easily by stun enemy, by frostbite enemy, and any kill spell from Shadow Isles. You just do not want Fiora to be at like 2 out of 4, because she has Riposte to give herself a barrier, and Cataclysm, 3-mana spell. One of your allies challenges one of our units, and she can just get +2 randomly, kind of. So if we are slow, this can go wrong in very bad case. Tryndamere is Undying Rage champion. Undying Rage is the first time the unit dies, fully heal it and give it plus toughness, plus fearsome and overwhelm. This is usually countered by Gloom, but we will discuss it later. We have it... Oh, it will be pretty much soon. Pretty soon. Nice. Alright, next I'd like to discuss Fortifying Frosts. Because Tryndamere just fits into Afterimage, into Sovereign's Domination, into Price of Progress, and into Freljordan Discount. Challenges 12, 19, 20, and 65. Okay. There is really not much to discuss about Freljordan Discount. Just wanna say that you better like... Wait, did I have Master Yi and Price of Progress? Yeah. So Tryndamere has his own job. He has to counter Price of Progress, Sovereign's Domination, and Afterimage. And especially if you have Eking Spirit, he is extremely good. Then Gnar. Gnar, if we look at his deck, this is Freljordan card, this is Bandle City. This is Bandle City, this is Freljord, Bandle City again, Bandle City again, Bandle City again, Bandle City again. So he's pretty much Bandle City champion. So he's like in the list, but he's not really. Anivia. If you feel confident playing Anivia, sure, go for it. I didn't account for Anivia when I was doing this guide. Volibear. Volibear is just pretty much the strongest champion, one of the strongest champions in the game. You can pretty much complete anything using just Stalker's Blade, Guardian Angel, and he is only bad into like extremely rough encounters. Like against Endure Deadly, against Overwhelming, he can be rough, but he is just good at 3 stars and you do not really need much more. 1, 2, 3 stars. Grant the weakest enemy vulnerable, that helps. Usually you just play around playing Tarkas as soon as possible. Maybe playing Avalanche. And Ashe and Ornn. So these two champions are not it. Ornn is one of the weakest champions in the game right now. He has no removal, and in challenges, in adventures where he is like in fights where he is good, he is strong, he is alright. And in fights where he is bad, he is barely playable. He has no removal, his only thing that he can do to help himself is play Catalyst to heal himself, or 3 for 3 mana. Bone Club is pretty much expensive too. His win condition is one, that's the only thing that is clear, but he has bad tempo. He is scaling, but usually enemy is scaling faster right now. And still, he can probably be better than Ashe, because Ashe's Frostbite doesn't really win you the game. If you have no relics, no epic relics, and just these champions at 2 or 3 stars, they are both like 3 out of 10. Even at 4 stars, Ashe is still like 3.5, 4 out of 10 at best. If you have Ornn, Ashe at 3 or 4 stars, and you have all 3 to play epic relics, then they're kind of equal and kind of playable. But still Ornn might be actually better, in a way that in challenge you do not care if you lose health, and Ornn has clear win condition. You play Ornn and you attack, and that's it. He deals 20 damage himself, 20 damage another magma guy. If you have Spectral Scissors, that will be 20 damage more. Beast Within if you really want to. That's Weapon Master, it will help. And another guy probably has it. Like, we can draft for Beast Within anyway. And Ashe, she doesn't really have clear win condition, and that's just... So whenever I say Ashe is fine, like, yeah, sure. Probably. If you're confident in your Ashe, then sure, go for it, but you need to be confident in Ashe. Okay, challenge 12. Fell Jordan discount, give the player strongest unit vulnerable, and Fizz and Draven. We did discuss both enemies at the beginning when we discuss in Champions. Fell Jordan discount, just use whatever you feel like from Freljord. Whatever is like not as strong. Give the player strongest units vulnerable, so Draven can attack at every round. Is nothing really to discuss here. Do I have any tips for this one? Like, it is pretty much lucky because Frostbites are actually good into Draven, and Frostbites are okay into Fizz, since he cannot really counter Burst spell. So even if you do not know what to do, like if you want to be creative, I had an idea of playing Grand General's Contraplan Ashe, just to Frostbite enemy so much that it will be pretty silly. And also Frostbite, like, you can give rare item to your unit. So Grand Genius contra plan Ashe is really OKH plan, kind of. That's pretty much it. Then we have challenge 19. Noxian Entertainment and Fortifying Frosts. Once again, Noxra Arena gets controlled by Frostbite, so this is good for us. We can use Ornn that goes tall. Lee Sin. Losing to Lee Sin is pretty much a skill issue. We just either let him go through when he attacks, so he cannot play those 2+0 spells, or we account for that. That's it. Challenge 20. Fortifying Frosts and Water's Flow. It's just Yasuo. 3-star Yasuo without vicious enemy when have discount. Ornn. Yeah, this was completed, this was completed. Challenge 65. Afterimage, Fortifying Frosts and vicious enemy. So this is Afterimage, right? And we discuss it during right here. And Kaisa was discussed at the beginning, right here. Did complete it with Tryndamere, but otherwise it's really hard to tell what can be as good. Let me look up. Yeah, ideally we want either Tryndamere or like another support champion. Losing to Afterimage is pretty much a skill issue, in a way that we can trade badly, and that's it. This is challenge 65, almost the very end. It is expected to have all the stronger champions still ready to fight. So because this is strong enemy, Kaisa, that we shouldn't underestimate. This is one fight, right? Yeah, there is no shop. We just gotta pick something solid. I think preferably I would pick from Aatrox or Vayne, from the Arm to the Teeth Twins list. Or maybe LeBlanc, if I didn't see that we'll be playing LeBlanc next. Well, I saw that I'm playing LeBlanc, so I didn't pick her. Alright, this was this one. Let's discuss 66. Oh no, not this one. Not this one. So this is Afterimage. Remove the imperfection, vicious enemy, salty dogs discount into Irelia. Remove the imperfection is like usually countered by high attack, and also very important. When the foe summons a unit, recall one of the player's followers with less power than that summoned unit. And once again, your champions will not be recalled. You can play 1-1 Teemo, you can play low-cost Nora. They will not be discounted. So what's bad about this? We are facing vicious enemy Irelia and salty dogs. The player's first village water card costs 1 less to play. I do not really have a good option from village water into Afterimage. It's just not happening. We have Pike that has ephemeral unit that will be given to enemy. We have Misfortune that will have monkeys to be given to enemy. So I instantly decided that I'm playing something like Jack or Tahm Kench. I did pick Tahm Kench. And by the way, if you happen to have this pay-to-play relic, it's called Cruel Experiments of Warwick's relic. When you play an ally with 2+ health, deal 1 to it and grant it Overwhelm and Impact. This should be even better for Tahm Kench. If not, then this one gonna be rough. My idea was to play any champion that can use Berserker Buckle into Irelia to scale up, so she just doesn't get to breathe. And probably every other Bilgewater champion like Pike and Misfortune can be good if you have invested into them like enough. So Pike's idea is you have Ephemeral Shark round 1, and if you happen to have attack token, you attack, you get +2/+2 from Lucky Lurk. Great. Then round 2, you summon Piranha, you get free attack. If you happened to have another +2/+2, then Irelia is pretty much done. Like, there is just nothing she can do. That's how it can be solved with Pike. How can it be solved with Misfortune? Once again, you want to get rid of Irelia, so you want Make It Rain to deal just enough damage. You can summon Misfortune as soon as round 1 because of discount. And if you have like Luden's Tempest and Grand General's Counterplan, Make It Rain will deal just enough to kill Irelia, but that's next round. Remove the Imperfection will always unsummon something. And Irelia is Ionia's champion, so she will have another recall too. This is Oppressive Fight, change 66, so this is supposed to be hard. And Afterimage is probably the least hard thing about this challenge. So probably this is one of the latest. You can just look up what you have for other challenges, plan it, and then think what can you use for this one. 67 is pretty much free, Unflinching Strength, just Nautilus. 68 is pretty much free too, there is just one powerful listen, that's it. 69 was easy to have Noxus discount, that's it. And challenge 70, we did discuss it already. This is hard, you can lose just randomly within 2 rounds. We did discuss it. This one was pretty much discussed too, like every Bilgewater champion was walked through. Challenge 42. Yeah, this was already discussed before in Price of Progress. Challenge 57. So this is Sovereign's Domination now. It is just Viega's basic power, which is not really much different, besides it is much easier. Sovereign's Domination is 4 summons ephemeral copy of the player's strongest follower that died last round. So if nothing died last round, then nothing will be summoned. If enemy unit died, our unit didn't die last round, nothing will be summoned. And this affects only next round, so it should be much easier than Afterimage. This one challenge though, challenge 57. Let's have this one on the screen again. This is Adoribus, Vicious Enemy, Power of Observation, Kaisa and Thresh. Thresh is pretty much free to play against. The only thing that combos for him is Power of Observation into Vengeance. He has 6-mana Vengeance to kill any unit that we summon. So this is one of the things to think about, especially considering because enemy he can have that like round 3. Should be pretty easy for him. But all in all, that's not really the hardest part. Mini boss Kaisa. Mini boss means that she will be fighting us first, and we have less upgrades than against Thresh. So Kaisa is harder than Thresh because of that. Adoribus. Disgusting. Sovereign's Domination is kind of whatever at this point. Our observation doesn't really do much for her. We should be creating something like to use this against her. Power of observation or any extra mana. So something from this list pretty much. Usually we want to use something like Kale or any buff champion that buffs units, but because of Adoribus that just doesn't happen. And well, into extra mana, one of my go-tos is usually Twisted Fate or Lilia, but I guess Spirit Blossom Ari is one of the best choices. So just because Spirit Blossom event wasn't really... it was pretty recent, I think it can be expected from you guys to have Spirit Blossom champions. And yeah, I should be saying that Spirit Blossom Ari is probably among the best champions because she works into Adoribus. She is kind of not really the best into Sovereign's Domination, but she is good into Power of Observation. She can win within 2 attacks, and you really want to just control enemy boards round 1 as good as possible. Whom did I complete it with? Lilia. Oh. Let me change this one into Adoribus and Lulu. So, just because there is Adoribus and I am a huge hater of the special rule, I would highly recommend to pick something against Adoribus from the top list, and then solving it by... or filtering it by like what can use extra mana. What can use spell mana at round start, get mana back, and then use it for creature. Once again, Tryndamere is fine. If you want to play champions, then it counters both Adoribus and Sovereign's Domination. So yeah, if you have Eking Spirit, this is just best in slot. If you have Oath of the Guardians, this is great too. If you do not, that's a little bit of headache, and you gotta be creative. As I pointed out, well, Spirit Blossom Ari is fine. Probably I could also play Vi in a way that you play... she has 4 spells to kill enemies, so you can play like Mystic Shot, Gotcha, to kill one enemy, another enemy you summon Vi, you kill Kaisa unless she gets Deathless. If Kaisa gets Deathless through second skin, then this is already a low roll, just saying. Alright, once again, we pick from Adoribus list, and then we filter by champions that can use mana for Hextech Observatory. And if you have Eking Spirit or Oath of the Guardians, then it can be great into this. Alright, next challenge. 53. Mercy killing, Sovereign's Domination. Oh, I see. Mercy killings should be discussed pretty soon, right? Let's discuss it later. Challenge number 5. Sovereign's Domination at the beginning. Interesting. Karma, Gangplank, and Guard Sovereign's Domination. I see. So second fight is 10 mana Karma. First fight is pretty much easy Gangplank with Enguard. Enguard will be discussed later because it has some like good champions for this one. Generally speaking, Lee Sin is fine into this Enguard, Eka is fine into this Enguard because they have synergy with either extra spell or discount for this one. And by the way, Lee Sin is pretty good into this. Did I use... I used Echo. Against Gangplank, I think we didn't discuss it at the beginning, so against Gangplank you usually just wanna look up his condition on summoning Dreadway, and that's it. Usually you just wanna kill him in one attack. So picking something that is one turn kill is pretty good too, like Lux probably. You summon Lux with Barrier, and then you do something good using Chemtech Duplicator. And against Karma you just win round 2, round 3. Alright, next we have Adoribus. 57, we just discussed it. 39. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So 54. We will get back to this one. This is just Adoribus and Merciless Marksman. Like, we didn't even think about this Merciless Marksman, pretty much. We just see that this is Lee Sin that is using Adoribus. So we use Guide against Adoribus that was just deeply discussed right here. And losing to Lee Sin otherwise is just a skill issue. Nothing really to be said here. Alright, let's get back to challenge 39. This is Swain, Embrace the Current, Vicious Enemy, and Adoribus. Swain is generic Noxian champion. He's pretty much the same as in Gangplank Adventure. Adoribus Guide. Vicious Enemy probably does something for Swain in a way that Swain's best card is Swain himself. So he's a 5 mana 4/9 something champion that he just wanna play, he wants him to level up, and honestly speaking, leveling up Swain just barely if ever happens. If we want to like strategize this, the only strategy against Swain is just controlling Swain himself. You want to stun him, you want to frostbite him, you want to recall him, anything works. And in this one, we are looking at Embrace the Current and Adoribus. It's really hard to tell which one is more important because both can be win conditions. Embrace the Current. When the player plays a spell, they refill 1 spell mana, and that helps only the player, so this is always great power to have. Great special rule. I decided to pick Nila, just to test that backup build that is on YouTube. It was a recent addition to our collection, where 3-star Nila completed Deadly Adventure against Draven and Irelia as a mid-boss without basically any high rolls. It was great. And I used also the Guardian's Nila against Adoribus. She's like okay against Embrace, with Embrace the Currents, just because of the build that I'm using. But some other champions probably will have enough critical mass of Embrace the Current to reach their win condition. As if Nami gets enough, Yasuo can just probably play Yasuo and stall the board using spells, especially if you have, once again, Grand General's control plan. Nora is kind of fine. If you have Eking Spirit, you will just play Nora. Then Adoribus cannot really transform Nora into anything. You get one creature on board, then you play Nora's spell, you get another creature and probably even more, so you will go white, and that's okay. Do I have any other tips? Embrace the current. My tip is pick your favorite and play him. Master Yi is extremely easy to navigate and looks good for this one. Lee Sin is a bit awkward, but he looks like adequate to his buff for +8/+8, Embrace the Current for extra. Yeah, Embrace the Current is probably what Lee Sin is lacking. And Twain, by the way, is 9 health, so Lee Sin's buff for +8/+8 is actually great into him. Otherwise, we're looking the Adoribus tooltip, and this should be it. Let me show it once again. Share, please. I'm going down. I'm drowning. Alright, can we go next? Embrace the current. I actually have a lot of text for Embrace the Current for some reason. This is pretty simple rule. And yet we can find a lot of things to use. So Embrace the Current. As we just discussed, great power because it works on player. It doesn't work for our enemies. Great best champion into Embrace the Current is, of course, Nami and Master Yi. Nami will just go infinite. You play Nami, you want Grand General's control plan to get extra spells, you want Eking Spirit if you have that. You can use Icon of Valkyr, you can use Guardian Angel if you're like overprotective. That's totally fine. You can use Lost Chapter, you can use Archangel Staff, but these two are pretty much unnecessary. Anything else? And you probably want to use something like +0/+3, or maybe Toughness, or maybe Regeneration, or maybe Berserker Buckle, because, well, Nami cannot scale herself. So this is the only thing that we should be thinking of. And therefore Guardian Angel is alright. Lee Sin, Embrace the Current, yeah, fine choice. A 3 stars Jack is also a pretty interesting choice. Eka is in the list because he gets to play a lot of spells, and especially that prediction early on. Garen, every round you have single combat 2-mana spell. Nar kind of has a spell every round too. Luxie has a spell every round too, and that's barrier that we definitely want to use. Warwick, same reason. Victor, he has some spells. Vi has a lot of spells, and she is good at that. You want to play a spell, you want to draw, you want to play another spell. Vi actually benefits that, because the more you play, the better she will be when you play her, and she just kills on the board too. Ornn, interesting idea about Ornn. So you play creature, you forge it for 0 mana, and you get 1 spell mana back. Then next round you forge this creature again, so you have 3 mana round 2, you have 2 spell mana, And you can play any 5-cost drop that you want, spell or equipment. So you can play Catalyst if you really want to, but idea is to play 5-mana equipment. And then you have Challenger, and then you have Regeneration, and like the stage is set. That is interesting noise. Spirit Blossom Ari, she is just a great champion, she works... she is good generalist, and she has a lot of spells. Spirit Blossom Kindred pretty much the same, she has a lot of spells. Next line, Echoing Spirit, this is obviously not a complete list, you can use a lot of different champions. I just want to point that Diana is also viable as an Echoing Spirit champion. Caitlyn's Echoing Spirit is one of the greatest defensive builds in the game. Lilia, obviously, you do not need sorcery too, so you just play Lilia, and then sleep here and play another Lilia, and that's all good. Nora, Vex, yeah. Alright, challenge number 8. Katarina and Embrace the Current. That mushroom is kind of whatever. We did discuss Katarina, we just discussed Embrace the Current. This should be easy. 39 we just discussed it, and 46 we already discussed it before. This was discussed. This 46 was not discussed before. So we have Viega, Gangplank, and Undying Rage, the great Undying keg of Gangplank. Alright, let's discuss this one. Honestly, I do not think that there is much difference in what we're picking. Like, this is 3-star adventure, no vicious enemy. Viega is weaker than in Galio Adventure, and Gangplank is just one of the weaker champions, generally speaking. Bilgewater has just not really great decks. The most scary thing that can happen is Gangplank naps our strongest card and uses it against us. That's it. Echo. So I was playing around Undying Rage. Let's find Undying Rage. Undying Rage. This is what is good into Undying Rage. This is Gloom. Vex is best, and I repeat it every month, and I do not mind repeating even more. So Vex is actually one of the strongest champions if you have invested in her constellation. So you get 1 star. If you have attack token, boost all enemies. This is this way because it helps you to finish enemy, but this is not really that great in like defensive playstyle, so this is not great. 2 mana, yes, this is Gloom, and Gwen Vex, sorry, becomes good when she hits 3 stars. This makes huge difference. And against challenges, it's even better if you have her Explosive Finale upgrade, and if you get this. Damaging spells you acquire in adventures have Charging Sigil 3. So every time you visit shop and you see a spell, it will have this. Any spell. If you see Ezreal in shop in Support Champion list, his both spells will have this. Great. It doesn't really matter if you choose 10 Nexus Health or this extra damage. I wanted to play Vex into like hard adventures like Lissandra, Viega and such, so I completed Star of Bounty first. This one Whatever. Or region is just good enough to complete Lissandra. So yeah, this is really important, and this is extremely strong. This is among the best upgrades in the game. In Constellation. Minor upgrades. And we were discussing Challenge 46. Fiddlesticks gives Gloom. He has his own win condition, so he doesn't really need to care about board state. Luxie, Jax, well, one of other things to use against Undying Rage is Mass Challenger. And of course probably Overwhelm, and probably First Attack too. So these two champions are teams that I used Mass Challenger Relic on. Highly recommend. Then we have an idea of double Stalker's Blade, Echo, LeBlanc, and Aatrox. Of course you can use double Stalker's Blade on anything else, or maybe Nasus pay-to-play Relic and Stalker's Blade if you have that. It's just they're a bit different. Nasus Relic is on play effect and Stalker's Blade is on summon effect. So this is the whole difference. Undying Rage, so I completed this on Echo, right? Yeah, and my idea was Echo with double Stalker's Blade will always benefit from these two relics, and every time he strikes I create prediction, profit. LeBlanc pretty much the same, Aatrox will get discount. Kench just ignores enemy Undying Rage because he captures enemy units, and then we have Nasus. Nasus 4-star just gives you time to develop, so enemy can have any board early game and you do not need to do bait trades into Undying Rage. Viaga outscales enemy. Volibear, his Titanic units strike, and Tryndamere, well, Undying Rage into Undying Rage. I think I had a better plan than this. Let me look up. I guess idea of this bottom line, Nasus, Viega, Volibear and Tryndamere, is also not just that they can use Stalker's Blade too and trade more effectively because their units are highly statted than enemy usually. You can also just ignore using Mass Challenger Relic because they are strong. I'm a bit cooked. My head. Alright, this was this one. Challenge 25. Bandle Magic and Undying Rage on Victor. This is not on the list at top, but it could have been here. Because this can be unexpectedly hard. Undying Rage will give 3 keywords to Victor's champions. Anything, units. Which means that Victor through this power will get +3/+3 on anything. The only thing that you should be careful about. Victor has some elusive units and he can high roll like crazy, but usually it's not an issue if Victor has no vicious enemy and is at just 2 stars. By the way, next we have Bandle Magic. What to pick here? Well, this is just generic enemy He sometimes has elusive units. Undying Rage in this case is skill issue, so pretty much anything you want. Bandle magic. There are a couple of ways to counter this. Idea number one. If you want to play Bandle tree game, then you can pick Jax. Jax has 10 regions in his base deck. Then another way to play this. I try to play Irelia every month just to style and flex my build. So I wanna pop Plunder some way, play Irelia for 1 mana cost. That's like 4 mana discount already, right? Then Found Fortune, draw the highest cost card that costs less than my best cost, and granted epic item and reduce its cost to 0. So we play this 4 cost for free, and this naturalist is destroy a landmark. If it is allied landmark, then summon this dude, which also has Phage. So this is 7/7. Like 1 mana into 0 mana into effect, we have +15/+15 or even more. +12, +20 rather. And we also got rid of that Bandle tree. Sadly, right now there is no real way to discard your cards the way that like Cyan wanted. We are probably just in a waiting room for a new champion that can get rid of cards like that from Bandle tree. Challenge number 9. Natural talent. Just Poppy, just Swain. Well, nothing really to discuss here. Next, Chorus of Power and Mercy Killings. Okay. So Chorus of Power is what makes enemies round 2 even stronger. This is usually great for like Draven, Misfortune, Zed, Fizz. Zed? It's fine on that too. Jinx. And into enemy vicious enemy. On any vicious enemy. On any enemy. Challenge 35. Chorus of Power, Mercy Killings, Vicious Enemy. So Misfortune will just play a lot of stuff round 1. Probably just Misfortune. Probably several low-cost drops. And if she summons several creatures, then her round 2 will be really strong. But she will play all her hand. Against Misfortune you probably want Berserker Buckle, or maybe you can use Nasus and Fiddlesticks. Fiddle's 4-star Disarm is good into such early pressure. Nasus has that at 2-star power. Otherwise, just look up MF guide in the beginning of the video. Nautilus was discussed too. And we gotta keep an eye on Mercy Killings. Let me find this picture. Mercy Killings. So what is good into Mercy Killings? Warwick is the best choice because of his 2-star power and 4-star power. So his 2-star power is Blood Hunt. You play 3 mana spell, deal 1 damage to one creature, 1 damage to another creature. You're basically claiming that this creature will die at the end of the round. Great. And his 4-star power is when enemy summons a unit with 2+ health, deal 1 to it. That's it. Challenge is solved. And if that unit didn't take damage, if it will not be dead by round end, then it has 1 health. We just use Blood Hunt and it is dead. Dreadway Chase Gun is also top tier in a way that we are just not playing to this rule. Like, we do not care about Mercy Killings. We just do our own thing, and if you have Aching Spirit, double Dreadway Chase Gun, then it's even better. Like, you can just sacrifice your unit and get another unit even faster. Another champion that will have 4 more warning shots. And Nika doesn't really need to sacrifice, you just need Aching Spirit, Luden's Tempest, and 1 Dreadway Chase Gun to play that. Luxie next line. Number 1. Kind of number 1, right? Luxie has Barrier, Speed Blossom Ari. Ephemeral units have Challenger, so you trade effectively. Normal Ari has Recall, so it basically heals up anything. LeBlanc, you just need to take care of LeBlanc, probably Spell Shield or something, or Guardian Angel, and that's good. You will just control enemy board. Fiddlesticks plays his own game. Caitlyn's traps are good even at 2 stars. Kain heals up whenever any creature kills any other enemy creature. Is a 3-star power, that is. Jhin is kind of alright, and Vex too because of Explosive Finale. Because, well, enemies' units are just dying faster. Gwen has a lot of blockers for free, so you care less. Nora has more units for free too. King is actually even better. King kind of benefits from mercy killings because when one of his units dies, you will get benefit from it. This is awkward and weird, but that's his power. Spirit Blossom Kindred will heal up if you really want to, but Spirit Blossom Kindred will just not die, that's the main point. Heimerdinger has a lot of units too. Veigar has different job, but he can use Darkness to do the same thing that Warwick does. Elise has a lot of Spiderlings because of her 2-star power and her signature spell. Then next line, Yuumi skills. Yuumi has Phalanx as her 4-star upgrade. Leona 2, Ambassa 2, Juggle, Equipment, Atrox and Vayne. This is probably what I did in one of my runs, just to like show that this is viable. You play creature, you give it equipment, you need to have another equipment in hand, you take a trade, then you change equipment once and change equipment back. So every time you change equipment, your creature will be healed by extra health that equipment was supposed to give. Ornn, Jugs, well, they're in the list, but they're weaker. And the last one, they can hold, right? Yasuo can just control board and clear every enemy when he is summoned using Steel Tempest, Tempest Blade. Tryndamere can hold because, well, this is Freljord, and Tryndamere himself doesn't really die instantly. He also has Staff, I think, at level 2, which makes it even better. Ashe, you have to be confident in Ashe, but she can be alright. Not a big fan, but she can stall if you really need to. Volibear can hold. Nar has a stun. Lilia can sleep units, so it will not actually die at round end. Then we have Darius, because his 4-star power is stun strongest enemy unit. Set's signature spell is stun 2 units, and Mordekaiser has like infinite revives, infinite deathless. Pick anything from the list, whatever you feel like playing into Nautilus and Misfortune. My go-to into mercy killings will always be a Warwick, or maybe Dreadway Chase Gun if I have that sweet spell mana. Speed Blossom Ari is just way too strong to waste on the Mercy killings, honestly. 2-star Caitlyn can be good. Gwen... Usually I use Gwen in different encounters like Combat Awareness or maybe Power Overwhelming, +3/+3 cannot block, so I can heal up. But she can be alright here. Alright, next we're going to discuss Vanguard special rule. Finally, next cluster. Okay. And let's move to another challenge, like challenge number 5. One moment. Everything is messed up. So, Vanguard. What's good into Vanguard? Lee Sin is great champion because, well, it just enables his 3-star power, 1-star and 3-star power. Lee Sin has a free spell, burst spell, fleeting spell, twin discipline every round. And Vanguard is just yet another spell, so he can constantly, effortlessly trigger that +8/+8 until the end of the round. Garen scales, well, he basically is balanced around Vanguard because he has single combat on his own. Kain's single combat, well, it will benefit him so much that this one actually deserves to be his own 6-star upgrade. No joke. Ekka is good into Vanguard because he has 1 mana discount. His 2-star power is basically Wild Inspiration. Your created cards cost 1 less. So Vanguard will be 1 mana. And also you can, if you're using Ekka in Spirit, you can always, anytime, sacrifice your own Ekka to get another stronger Ekka on board. So this is like twice the benefit. And Luxie is good into Vanguard for 2 reasons. So first, you have your own barrier every round. Like you play Luxie for 3 mana, round 1 or round 2. Round 2 in my case, I do not have mana flow. And if you have Archangel Staff, you'll be just using barrier and single combat anytime you want. Yeah, and also when you target your own ally using single combat, you will also give it plus spirit if you're 2-star champion, like 1-star champion, and spirit and impact if you have 3 stars on Luxie. Kench is fine into Vanguard because, well, you will just kill your own unit. Ashe is pretty interesting because you can just frostbite enemy all the time. Spirit Blossom Kindred because Spirit Blossom Kindred is I cannot take damage or die, so this is how you control board. Kayle is fine because, well, just like Lee Sin, you probably skip round 1, and round 2 you play creature, and you play your Blazing of Targon in case of Kayle. Or just straight up single combat if you're Lee Sin round 2. And that's it, you're controlling the board. Yuumi is good anti-Vanguard because she has Fated, and Fated just gives +2/+2 if you're Yuumi. And single combat enables that Fated. Just pick any champion from the list, or in this case, you can pick something that scales into Karma. Is there anything that is bad? I'm not sure. Everything works, just everything. Challenge 16. That's just Nautilus and this, nothing really to discuss. Challenge 23. Just yet another Nautilus and Guard and nothing but powder monkeys. So in this case I decided to pick Tahm Kench because, well, monkeys either cannot attack or I can like try to capture them and scale my Tahm Kench even faster. So that was the plan. Challenge 45. Yeah, I see. So this is actually our overwhelming luck Jinx, and this is one of those. So this is supposed to be not hard, but if you're underprepared, then this probably is hard. There is just no middle ground. And in this case, we probably want to discuss power overwhelming. It's this rule. So let's be discussing power overwhelming. And by the way, last time I was saying power overwhelming, I confused name of special rule. +3/+3 and overwhelm cannot block is called differently. So power overwhelming is that rule that used to be really bad. It used to grant units +1/+1 at the end of the round, and only those units who were on board did benefit from it. Now this is grant units everywhere, so anyone is scaling infinitely. But just I just want to point out that this is not really an infinite scaling in a way that usually, first of all, you're still trading early rounds. No one is AFK early rounds, and you're losing cards, enemy is losing cards, so this scales like enemy top decks. And even then, oops, usually games end at like your late second attack, at your early third attack, which is round 5. So late second attack is enemy has attack token, you have attack token. Enemy has attack token, you have attack token. This is late second attack. So you developed four rounds. You had 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana. Or maybe on your 6 mana round 5, just because it happened to be this way. Or if you have Chemtech Duplicator, if you have a plan for the game, if you have a plan to use Chemtech Duplicator to win enemy just one round, it can be a bit longer, like 6-7 mana. This is usually when the game ends. So couple, pretty much half of enemy units will have buffs like +1/+1 at round 2, +3/+3, very late into the game, and something in between. And it's really hard to imagine enemy having more than +6/+6. It just barely, if ever, happens. And when you look at this situation, that enemy has usually at worst +4/+4 or +5/+5, in case if you just, well, not playing with Chemtech Duplicator, this is just a much easier game than enemy has infinite scaling. Yeah, let's look at recommendations. Yasuo, one of the strongest 3-star champions in the game. He also scales because, well, his power is when ally attacks, strikes, give it +1/+0. So he is scaling. And he is also controlling the board. And Yasuo is such a nice win condition then that's like when you play him, you're expected to have still Tempest Blade. And although Yasuo might not have a lot of attack, but he will be scaling even if you're not killing anything. And then you have like full build, or at least challenger and you have quick attack, you will be actually killing enemies. So this works. He is one of the best champions into this, just because you usually, like, this is enough. Evelyn, she can scale. Her 3-star power is give everyone everywhere +2/+2. Oh. And she can also be used defensively using that very same Tempest Blade. You can level up during enemy attack, level up stun every enemy, and that's it. Now you have time to develop. Viego, through his 3-star power, he scales too, and even faster than any enemy. Usually you can scale like +4/+4, like get 4 mists within 2 rounds. And then you play Viego, and if you have like Corrupted Star Fragment or something, he is just 20/20 instantly. If you do not, well, it might take some time, but you will play him and enemy will not be able to outscale Viego anyway. Scale should be pretty straightforward, like you play Blessing of Targon, you take care of your units, and that's it, that's the whole plan. Just keep in mind that Kayle isn't really a champion at 2 stars. There is a huge difference between her 1-star power and 3-star power. Like, it's not even comparable. She is basically worse than Ashe at 2 stars. Because that 1-star power isn't really doing much. And Kayle's only removal is like Alliance enemy. And you can also stun enemy for 1 mana, for 2 mana at burst speed. That's it. She is fairly weak at this point. Not enough options. Spirit Blossom Ari, she has scaling, she trades, she is great. You should be stabilizing like at round 3. Spirit Blossom Kindred, she is scaling, she can trade on her own terms, she is strong. Nami, idea of Nami is that if Nami is on board and if you have Grand General's counter plan, you can always heal up your Nexus and you can always scale all other units but Nami. So it doesn't really matter that Nami cannot be scaled, but just the opportunity to heal up your Nexus to full, you can take a lot of damage early on. So when enemy doesn't really has a lot of stacks of power overwhelming, all those damages hit, they're not relevant. So you can use Guardian Angel, Grand General's Counterplan, Chemtech Duplicator, Echoing Spirit, Icon of Valkyr, whatever you feel like. She just works. And Kaisa is in the list because she just has a lot of raw stats, and like she actually wins the game as early as second attack, pretty much. Second or third attack. So yeah, round 4, round 5, you should be winning, and enemy hasn't really scaled. So enemy is not hitting critical mass. Action is in the list only if you have upgraded him, only if you invested like 220 fragments into his constellation. You wanna get that his signature spell upgrade, so it will be burst speed, and you need to have Echoing Spirit. This way he is strong enough to control board and strong enough to kill enemy within, once again, 2 or 3 attacks at worst. Otherwise he is not really in the list, like he's not existent. Second line, yes, these creatures are scaling too. Augment of Victor can scale anyone, that's pretty good stats. And you can also use Hymn of Valor on Victor, so boom, power spike. Ekka, through his predictions, gives +2/+2 to all units. LeBlanc is fine because of the mirror image Stalker's Blade tech. Lilia is scaling and she can use Guardian Orbs, just like LeBlanc, by the way. Nora is kind of scaling through Corrupted Star Fragment and through her level up. But the idea is that she's just good enough and she just floods the board and wins within 3 attacks, usually 3 or 4 attacks. She is pretty much stable in that. Yuumi is scaling, she is fine defensively. Sorry. Ambessa, she is scaling too, but it's a bit harder to scale if enemy is like deadly. But otherwise she's totally fine. Pyke, I'm not really a lurker guy in a game of Legends of Runeterra, so if you feel like playing Pyke, he can be scaling too. He is in the list. On the list, haha. Gwen has infinite blockers and you do not really care if you are taking damage. You only care that you have 3 rare relics and 3-star power on Gwen. You will just heal up. You have quick attack. You have hallowed stacks. So Kayle on Gwen will always have like enough hallowed stacks and power with quick attack. No matter what is power overwhelming. Luxia has barrier. Warwick is scaling too, and well, he's a really strong generalist. His on-play ability is strike 1. If you have Stalker's Blade, he strikes another. You're just controlling board for like 3 mana, killing 2 creatures. He is extremely strong and he has other things to do usually. But he's good into this one. He is fine. Alia, pretty much like Akshan, you need to invest a bit in her constellation, so that Grumpy Bear has Phage. That's a top rate in her constellation. Eli's skills too, you can always use Corrupted Star Fragment. You need Dream of Yordles, common relic, and she is already strong enough. She can only be like recalled. That's the worst thing that can happen against Corrupted Star Fragment. Garen is kind of scaling too, just like Ornn, just like Jax. They're just slow. So, not great choice into strong powers combinations, but they're kind of viable. You can always pick weaker champion into 2-fight adventure early on, because 2-fight adventures challenges always have shop, so you can like try to high roll in a shop. That's actually a skill, so this is fine strategy. Kindred, Guardian Angel, Guardian Orb, Stalker's Blade, any combination, she is scaling, and she is good defensively. 1 turn kill, Chemtech Duplicator, Hymn of Valor, pretty much self-explanatory. And against Jinx, we had Guide in the beginning. You can always use Berserker Buckle and stuff like that. So this was challenge 45. Let's discuss 55 now. Lingering Shadows and Power Overwhelming. By the way, this can be already gone. This is Endguard. And Lingering Shadows. What's good into Lingering Shadows? Vega, obviously, Gwen, ephemeral units, Kindred, she always sacrifices stuff, Evelynn, Husks, Speed Blossom Ari, Foxfire, Do Die, and Lingering Shadows buff stuff in hand. Thresh, kind of, he's good into this. Misfortune's Monkey is Mordekaiser because he is supposed to level up through killing his own allies, and this is just his playstyle. He might even get this as his 4-star upgrade, no joke. I mean, you gotta play Mordekaiser pretty late. Spirit Blossom Yi, I didn't try it yet, but he is supposed to be good into this. He has 2 spells, ephemeral units that are summoned through Animate ability will be buffing your units in hand through Lingering Shadows. Or King is supposed to sacrifice units sometimes. Warwick, well, he has stuff to sacrifice too. Pike has stuff to sacrifice, Nora can sacrifice too, and you can use Carp the Star Fragment. And Swain, there was a wild idea. He is actually in the list only because I'm using that husk generator on him. Like, Swain's main power comes from this Star of Discovery. Spells you acquire in adventures have Pyromantic Wake. So at this point he is the strongest champion in the game. 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, it's like kind of... 1 star is fairly weak. 3 stars is already pretty strong, but then you have 10 Nexus health. Raiding party is kind of whatever, you do not really need it, but this one. And also with a recent addition to the game, Jeweled Gauntlet, that spells can crit, it will be so much damage. Like if you get that upgrade on Swain, holy. And Swain is in the list, usually I do not pick him, well, I do not add him to any list because he is just obviously this strong. Like sometimes you do not pronounce some letters in words, sometimes you do not pronounce who is the strongest champion. Of course Aurelian Soul and Jinx can complete a lot of adventures. Jinx can complete anything but Undying Rage, Aurelian Soul can complete pretty much anything, and Swain can complete pretty much anything too. So my idea, Swain is in the list only if you have like 2 stars Swain and Succubus Brand, Greater Gatebreaker. You can also use like Battery, Riptide Battery, like this. So the main idea of this challenge is pick something that is scaling and outscale enemy. What is the problem? If you just happened to not have Viega, then why? Just kidding. Well, of course he is one of the strongest Shadow Isles champions, but he's just fitting so good into this. And if you do not have him, let's discuss this challenge, I guess. We have mini boss Kaisa. There is no vicious enemy, luckily. But this is Targon Ezreal. And this Ezreal is actually a menace. I do not remember if he has Spell Shield, but, well, if you like controlling board, but then enemy uses Static Shock at, let's say, round 6, round 7. Static Shock to draw 1, and then he plays 2 Forge Workers into Ezreal. Then, just out of the blue, he has like 30-30 on board. And one of those units is actually elusive. This can go wrong. Among my picks, I would say that I'd probably use Kaisa into this challenge. Because, well, Kaisa is good into 2 fight challenges. You got a high roll in shop, you pick second option to upgrade the card that you already have. You are trying to find some keywords into some creatures, so you will always have like that 2-star +2/+2 power. You pick full build, probably Luminous Orb and Luden's Tempest, so you can control Ezreal with Farsight. You have 3 keywords from full build, and Luden's Tempest basically doubling the damage of your Ikatian Rain ability. And that's it. Evelynn is good into Ezreal stance, and Evelynn will definitely outscale Kaisa. Yasuo is kinda okay. Otherwise, these are the lists. We have discussed Ezreal, we have discussed Kaisa, just be creative. Then challenge 43. This is pretty much the same as challenge 45. So this is PO Jinx and in guard. This is actually really annoying because, well, in guard, later, you gotta finish her quickly. This one, Dying Laughing. If you do not have Strength of Stone Epic Relic, once again, things are getting more complicated. Dying Laughing. Okay. And this challenge is in my list of hard challenges. Not really hard, but this is one of those that is supposed to be easy. But if you do not have that one specific thingy, then this is so much harder. Idea is to play Strength of Stone Epic Relic, which makes all of your units formidable, and this 0-10 Prankster becomes 10-10 that you do not even need to play. It is just there on board. If you have attack token round 1, boom, 10 damage. Just why not? And for Strength of Stone, these are my recommendations. Thresh, because Phantom Prankster has Tough as and Savage Shield for free, so he's basically 13-13 toughness. You just need Overwhelm and he's good. Janna is really good with Formidable Relic. Y scales her 3-star power is giving +0/+3 to your strongest unit when you draw a card, and Y draws a lot, at least early on. Kain is fine because his creatures heal up every time they kill, so that's the plan. Steel Blossom Ari, this is your strongest archetype. You play her is formidable, and her 3-drop actually has Savage Shield, which makes it even better. You can use that rune to get +0/+3 on every unit. She is just a menace. Ambessa into this is alright, and she's fine into Strength of Stone, kind of. You're scaling, you can have Barrier, and she's fine into Dying Laughing. You can copy Phantom Prankster and win like within 2 attacks. If you have Overwhelm, of course. Lee Sin, he is fine into Formidable. He is fine with that +8/+8 buff. You just do not care if you're taken through power or through your health. Master Yi, you just use Twin Discipline to grant you health, and that's pretty much the same. Ari, great formidable user, you can always recall your unit to heal up. Heimerdinger is kind of okay into this because he has 2-mana drop, turret is 2/5, which means that is a 5/5 2-mana drop, pretty strong. Bard is kind of okay, he is scaling, he can high roll a lifesteal, you shouldn't be like worried at all, and also you can use Luminous Orb and Regeneration on Bard, so he is extremely strong on his own. Just please be leveled. It's been a while since I played Bard, by the way. Probably gonna do that before or after I play Shyvana. And Pike actually works with Strength of Stone too. Next, second line buffs. Victor is buffing, augment, and Phantom Prankster will be getting that augment and buffs. He will be scaling. Aatrox, Vayne, you can just use this Prankster as a proxy that you didn't need to pay tempo for. You just give it equipment and he's good to go. LeBlanc, +3/+2, 0 mana cost, instant spell, burst spell. Kayla is buffing that creature. Lilia +2/+2 because spirit, 2 spirits. Nami can buff anyone once you have a Nami on board. Nora will give this Prankster +3/+1. Ornn can forge this. Mordekaiser, he's kind of alright. Into Phantom Prankster because you're always killing your units. and Spirit Blossom Master Yi. I'm yet to discover this, but this should be interesting. So you play a spell, you summon Prankster, your summoned Prankster will get buffs, and then animate his power, Master Yi's power animate, will create ephemeral unit, and it will be like a ping to enemy nexus every time. You can also use Corrupted Sword Fragment to get all those 0-10 stats for free to your unit. So best in slot for this challenge should be Strength of Stone, Epic Relic, or obviously Beast Within or another source of mass overwhelm. If you do not have it, then pick another choice out of this 20 champions, like whatever you have leveled. And Jinx discussion was right in the beginning. Next, Dying Laughing once again, 52. Dying Laughing, Little Bodies, Ezreal. Enemy summoning one Pora. Nothing much. We have discussed Ezreal, we have discussed Dying Laughing. Little Bodies isn't really doing much. By the way, we will be discussing this pretty soon. So one thing I'd like to point out, Valiant Spirits, 2962. So Veiling Spirits is a Shadow Isles discount, and like Viega is good into Lingering Shadows, Thresh is great into Dying Laughing, and we also have Combat Awareness, which means that Gwen is great. So you just gotta use all these Shadow Isles champions. Great month for Shadow Isle champions. Please plan accordingly. Should we discuss Shadow Isles at least a bit? Honestly, probably there is nothing to discuss. Like, Veigar has different job, Vex has different job, so use Veigar against Katarina, use Vex the way you feel like. I've already pointed how strong she is and how she is like meant to be used. Viega is pretty much strongest Shadow Isle champions. The Taker is kind of okay, well, this is a Spirit Blossom character. So if you're playing Spirit Blossom event, then you have a lot of fragments and you can just complete anything. You probably have any Spirit Blossom champion at least 3 stars. I think I got at least like 3000 fragments total, just because of free rewards and all those gifts for free. Well, 2000 rather. And this is 300 fragments per champion. Mordekaiser is fairly weak, and he is mostly Noxian too. Kindred is great, but she is outdated, she is really slow. If you feel like playing Caitlyn or Kindred, then great, you have my respect. She used to be among my favorite champions, right next to Thresh and Evelynn. Gwen is a great Shadow Isles champion, but you want her to have at least level 30, or you want to have Crush, because otherwise you're investing this Mass Overwhelm, you're making it here, right, and you're missing some of these relics. And also 3 stars is really mandatory too, because, well, round start, this is defense. If you do not have attack token, summon this, and then during attack you will be getting hollowed. This means that you're scaling twice as fast. Ludens Tempest means that you're dealing twice as much damage. Level Up Rally means that you're doing like 60% more damage in one attack. And this is just like, well, so Gwen definitely survives. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. A lot of good options. And Elise, well, she has Constellation now, so I cannot really comment on that. But she used to be pretty good too. Shadow Isles, Wailing Spirits 62. I see. Hold on. 29. This is just Nautilus and nothing to say, honestly. I used Taker just to see how hard does Nautilus want to return my Taker back into the deck. Not that hard, but he did. Just generic fight. Challenge 62. This is Fiora, this is Jinx. Two weak enemies, fairly weak vicious enemy. We have a discount. Thresh was used because, well, Thresh is good into Jinx. Jinx goes white. We get +1/+1 for every unit that was killed. Previous round, that not just was killed, like died. And extra turrets. We have actually... Yeah, I think I have something. So enemy is summoning more things. This way. Who can benefit from enemy having more things? Volibear. You're getting more sigils through his 1 power and 3-star power. Nasus. For every unit that you killed previous round, give +2/+2 to your strongest unit. You can kill your own units. You can kill enemy 1/1 Poros. You can kill enemy turrets. You will be scaling. Mel. 2 damage every time you kill something with a spell. Great. And, well, Pora are always just 1/1, unless there is like some scaling, like Demacian Might or PO. Our overwhelming turrets are 0/1, 2/1, 2/1 toughness, something like that, 3/1, 4/1, they're weak early on. And then another one is elusive, and then another one is barrier. Only the last one is 8/8, which is pretty scary. Well, barrier is pretty scary too. Warwick is scaling by dealing damage to things. So more enemies, if you have like idea to do area of effect damage, then this is great. Thresh in the list, LeBlanc and Eka benefit from enemy having more than 1 unit, because, well, I recommend using 2 Stalker's Blades on them. Viega is kind of in the list. You will always have something to kill, you will have something to steal. Kain is killing from enemies that are dying too. You will always have +2/+2, and if you pick the Rust, you'll be healing up. Funny, because, well, Yasuo wants enemy to have full board, so you can play Yasuo, stun everything, and just kill everything. You'll be having +1/+0 for every strike, and this is just fancy. Jhin has Explosive Finale, and you're supposed, like, kind of supposed to play Riptide, so this is even better. Pyke is pretty much funny too. He is level 2 ability. He is like that. Pew, pew, pew. Kill this, kill that. Pretty funny. Vayne is in the list because, well, you'll strike enemy Nexus when you summon him if you use Gatebreaker, and every enemy is just getting 3 damage. Jack 3-star upgrade. Every enemy is getting 1 damage whenever you refill mana. Kaisa, Cutting Rain, Twisted Fate, well, red card. So this one, what do we have? Nothing much, just generic things. Challenge 52. That was already discussed. Right? 52. Yeah, in Dan Laughing. 64. This is just Draven. We have Shurim on discount and Lil Bodies. So I probably used Nasus because I wanna give enemy Draven like -1, -0 and then vulnerable to give him -3, -0. So he's just not attacking, he's standing still and looking at this whole situation. Also, Nasus into Lil Bodies sounds like a great idea. The problem is, Nasus is a really different champion when you have him upgraded. So, this upgrade doesn't really matter at all. This upgrade in my sights is great, but this is bad. And then you want a Symphony Strike has a stopwatch. It actually makes a difference. You will be able to control board at burst speed for just 3 mana. This is whatever, this is whatever. And also starting deck, champion level. So if you just happen to have Nasus at like 3 stars, 4 stars but without levels, then you are still playing different game, because Symphony Strike gets Tear of the Goddess at his level 15. That's a -2 mana cost, and so Symphony Strike used to be 5 mana slow speed, and then it becomes 3 mana burst speed. This is huge difference. This makes difference too. This is kind of okay. Not really much difference, but it improves situation. So yeah. Pick your Shuriman champion accordingly. Then, Nature's Revenge. Enemy will get Challenger to 1 creature. That is pretty much a skill issue. You gotta be mindful about that. Demising discount, yeah, just pick Demising champion. Garen. Katarina, we have all the special spell mana in the world. Once again, this is home task pretty much. Pick whatever you feel like. Please be creative. Around start, refill all players' spell mana. This is just the very same thing that you have in Fizz Deadly Adventure. You gotta be creative. I think I use Garen again. Garen, Katarina. And also you gotta play single combat every round pretty much for free. Beautiful. Then 60 and 62. 62 was discussed, so we can jump to 60. So this one is among the hardest adventures of the month, right after challenge 51. And in this one, I highly recommend to plan to use Jinx, Swain, Aurelian Soul, Vex, Volibear, whatever you feel like is your strongest. Mel feels like okay into this because of turrets. So you will be just killing turrets, and this way we'll have Fizz killed, and within 2 dead creatures you will have Irelia killed pretty much, unless like Domination might scales enemy way too fast because of extra spell mana. Mel feels alright. Caitlyn can be alright if you feel like playing defensively. I honestly think that this can be playable, but I would rather not. I would just rather pick Jinx or something. I used Volibear. He is among my top 7 champions. I do not play Mana Flow, I do not play 6 stars, I play free-to-play stuff, and Vex, Volibear, Thresh, Evelynn, Jinx, Aurelion, and Sola, my just best champions. And my Swain is banned because I have him with Mana Flow. He has Mana Flow, so I cannot pick him. Probably Atrox can be fine, but that's a bit scary. You can heal up, but that can go wrong. Like you need Black Shield, Epic Relic. So enemy cannot recall you. And probably you can have a shot using Transmogulator, Spectral Scissors, Needly. All players start with 3 spell mana. So we get Overwhelm Relic, those 2, and you go face. I did not really play that. That's just way too straightforward for me. And 62 was discussed. Demacian Might. This is like among the worst mods that we can face, in a way that our Overwhelming is tied to round end. So enemy needs time to scale. But Demacian Might, enemy is just striking, and then whatever happens, like enemy can have Blade in the Darkness, enemy can have Blade Dance, enemy can have elusive stuff, and everything will be scaling +2/+2 once they attack, and enemy can also have quick attack. Yeah. Like, speaking about early and mid game, Demacian Might should be much harder to stabilize from. And power overwhelming is when you're both playing top deck, then obviously PO is just so much harder. Like enemy will always have all those extra stats that he doesn't really need to scale. But this one, it can happen more than once within 3 rounds, more than 2 times within 3 rounds. And that's just more stats. If enemy has a scout, if there is Irelia Z, this can be rough. Do I actually have anything into this? Yes, I do. This is one of my recommended lists of champions against Demacian Might and against challenge number 60 as well. In a way, just because of Demacian Might, like this is just generic list of champions into Demacian Might. Misfortune because you can control enemy early game, and this is the most important part against this power. Vex, you're controlling, you're decreasing enemies' stats. Speed Blossom Ari, pretty much the same. You use your spells offensively to kill enemies. In response to their attack, you have Foxfire to prevent them from leaving pretty much. So you're just scaling better than enemy and surviving early game. Evelynn has a lot of damage too. Twisted Fate kind of can survive that. He has gold card. He has a red card to deal with several enemies, so they do not kill, right? Just like Misfortune. And Veigar pretty much the same, but not as good. Then we have a line of stats. Kaisa good raw stats that can rival enemy scaling early on. Atrox Vayne 4-star upgrade is just enormous. Yumi can be scaling, Viego can be scaling too, and Control, well, all the same faces. Yasuo is among the best 3-star champions, he is great at controlling enemy. You always stun one of enemies, and by the way, keep in mind that Yasuo at 2 stars is like 5 out of 10, and at 3 stars he is pretty much 9 out of 10, that makes a huge difference. And always, also you're always expected to have Tempest Blade relic, rare relic. when you level up champion, stun every enemy. Caitlyn is alright, because usually you have more traps than enemy has health. Nasus just controls board, he scales too. And Morgana, another great 3-star champion. You control board, you stun enemy, enemy do not scale, doesn't scale, and you're life-stealing if you really need to. Morgana can survive, you can use Guardian Angel, Chemtech Duplicator, and it should be good. Demacian Might 2 Challenge 51. Yeah, this one is actually the hardest in this month. Demacian Might, Legendary Small Staff, and enemy, everyone has Scout. But our units are 1-1, and enemy is scaling +1, +2/+2 whenever he attacks. So, once again, Jinx, Swain, Aurelian Soul, and these three. Pick one. Vex and Yumi kind of can be okay, because this is a 2-star adventure, 2-star challenge. You are fighting Tempo Warriors, Azir and Darius. They really want to rush you down. Darius is really good at that for some reason, and Azir, well, he doesn't really get that much value with Scout if he low rolls, but if he is even if he is attacking second, he can play something like Landmark round 1, and then he's just... And also if he gets that creature 1-drop Quick Strike Blade start instant attack during your attack, he is getting attack token. This is just... you can low roll, enemy can high roll. Just use Jinx, Aurelian Soul or Swain, yeah. If you feel like you wanna do something really creative, well, Vex, Yumi, Atrox, maybe Kaisa too, because you play creature gets shrinked, and only then I think either 2-star upgrade or even evolve happens. So it's not like you're losing all of your stats, but well, just Kaisa is not really that bad. And she also has some spells to control board, but this can get out of control. This is just really hard. Then challenge 33. Only the strong and Demacian Might. So this one can go wrong, but it's not supposed to be this hard. We have Zed and Fiora, and only the strong. So because of Demacian Might, you shouldn't really be scared of only the strong, but enemy has 2 great units that want to be scaled, Zed and Fiora, both champions. I would highly recommend to look at only the strong recommendations. Jack is killing 1 unit himself, Garen is killing pretty much any unit. You probably want like regeneration, so regeneration on Jack is okay. Garen has regeneration in tailored in. Kain can heal up, and you're supposed to be playing Kain too. Tom Kench, he is scaling. L is scaling, Y is kind of scaling or just winning within 3 attacks. Gwen has ephemeral blockers and she can heal up. Speed Blossom Ari is playing ephemerals, so you're not scared of only the strong. Lee Sin is great into only the strong. You will be just using spells and buffing 1 unit. Speed Blossom Kindred cannot die. Pike has ephemeral or instant attacks to scale. But usually you just have 1 creature that you want to sacrifice. His 3-drop 5/5 is actually excellent to control board early on. Then he is just having chimes. He will be out killing any enemy. Our only problem is a Z in this case, and Well, against Fury we have stun easily. Against Zed it's a bit harder. So we probably need to express some skill and sacrifice something in an unfavorable trait to protect our Nexus health. Jhin is alright. Vex is alright. Master Yi is pretty much like Lee Sin but a bit worse, and Viega, well, you have elusive units, so it's gonna be fine too. Oops. Wrong overview. Review. We have discussed that, we have discussed Fiora. We have 2 tips against these 2 special rules. Let's move on. Combat awareness, we just discussed it. And by the way, I think we discussed it earlier when we were discussing this one. Yeah. Just once again, this is best picks into Scout. Let's look at those challenges. 51, yes, please use Jinx. Do not risk it. And challenge 56. Yeah, we did discuss it, should be easy. Alright, next we're discussing Noxian Might 2. Challenges number 31 and 59. Which one? Let's start with 59. Ah, Chronicle of Ruin and Noxian Might, I see. Should be easy. So, Noxian Might. This is pretty much all the same as usual. Same challenge, but enemy has Overwhelm, which means that if we're losing something, we are losing much more health Nexus, I mean. But technically, nothing should be changing. Unless, well, I'm looking at that Ezreal face and he's like... He will be elusive unit, fearsome unit, well shielded unit, and he will have like 7-3 stats round 1. Against Noxian Might, usually you probably want control champion, usually something like Morgana, Yasuo, Spirit Blossom, Kindred. Also, rolling for a relevant support champion is probably more important. The one that, like, usually you can mulligan or pick a support champion that has Shadow Totem on 1 mana drop, 2 mana drop, so you can play that as a sacrificial lamp. But against Overwhelm, it just doesn't really work and you need to be adapting. So yeah, simple Shadow Totem doesn't really work. Probably gonna lose rerolls on a proper support champion and in the shop. Snorlax, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Challenge 59. I do highly recommend to have at least one like explosive finale champion, which is Jhin, Vex, or Spirit Blossom champion that has Rune explosive finale. Just to have it, because this is really good into Chronicle of Ruin. This in here, so we have really scary enemies, Irelia and Ezreal, but it should be completed just through Chronicle of Ruin. Like, we use Guardian Angel champion, we use Star Gems, Guardian Orbs, Stalker's Blades, and this one is solved. That's it. We can also use Dreadway Chase Gun, which is basically killing enemy with a spoon, unless you're playing any OML. I'm not sure about that one. That's just... That's viable, but why? If you're feeling like being creative, I just would highly recommend to not pick Thresh or Nasus, and that's pretty much it. I do have video of Jhin doing this, Chronicle of Ruin. I have Vex. No, I think it was just... yeah, I do not have English video of Vex doing this. Guardian Angel or Gems, I think I used like last month or maybe in August somewhere. It happened like 5 times and I was using Nila with Star Gems, Nila with Guardian Orbs, Timo with Star Gems, Timo with Guardian Orbs, and something else. Just do whatever you feel like, but play around Chronicle of Ruin and it should be easy. Next challenge, 31. Noxian Might, Breakthrough Research. Yeah, so I was playing Caitlyn with an idea that Azir should be fairly easy, and I'm only caring about Ezreal. And Ezreal is 3 health creature, 3/3, and I can play anything pretty much that uses Stalker's Blade round 1. Caitlyn will be 2 mana, Ekka with Taking Spirit will be 2 mana. Snorlax, you're asking for too much attention. And that's it. It's really hard to recommend anything else. Honestly, just keep in mind that you gotta be controlling Ezreal, and that's it. Warwick is also fine. Berserker Buckle is also fine. Full build is fine into elusive units. Against these two, if you want to be like overprotective, you can also pick Nexus. Health has tough. Your Nexus has toughness. Yeah. Why Mel? Do you have some spells to control board too, like Mystic Shot? What's that spell? Gotcha. Mel's signature spell. There are ways to control this board. Alright, next. Breakthrough Research. It's just a discount, and we have a lot of PNZ champions, so this one should be easy. Just pick whatever you have leveled up according to like general guide. 31 was already discussed. 34. Just a mana flow, Vega Yasuo, nothing much. Challenge 40. This should be Lulu, right? Yeah, mana flow Lulu. Just use Adoribus guide. Yeah, I used Jenna, Oath of the Guardians build, and probably 1 Star Gem and something else. Do I still have it on her? Oh yeah, okay. Expect Powder to play her as soon as possible, and this too. And challenge 68. Oh, this is just nothing much. Just generic Lee Sin with Vicious Enemy, we have a discount, and that withstand isn't really doing much. Alright, next, mana flow. Enemy has extra mana. Just that. 34, yes, we have already discussed it. 40, yes. 47. 47 is another Lulu, right? Yeah, mana flow, Savage Mysticism. So once again, we are just looking at Adoribus and counterpicking Adoribus. We had a lot of things said in the beginning, right here. And next challenge 50. This one is Mana Flow, Evolve, Fizz and Katarina. Fizz with extra mana We can play Luminous Orb, we can play Berserker Buckle, we can play... Our Nexus has toughness, but main goal is to counter Katarina, and this was in the beginning. Veigar is great. Pretty much any champion that has like single target spell that deals at least 2 damage. Sometimes 3 damage, right? Yeah. Like, even when playing Veigar, you can have Sharp Sight, Luminous Orb, Relic. So you play 3-star Veigar, and it probably doesn't even matter what level are you. No joke, you just use your 3-star power and that's it. So, yeah, like this build. Luminous Orb. This one, and this actually, my Veigar was level 25, and I've leveled him to 30 just by completing challenges. This was spell shield every time, forever. Great and darkness that costs 0 in hand. Your darkness accelerates to burst. It doesn't even matter what level are you. You just need 3 stars, and that is done. Withstand. Listen. Grant the force units plus 0/+1. Only those units that are on board will benefit from it, so it's just nothing much. Challenge 32. Only the strong and withstand. Against only the strong, this is what I can recommend. Reasoning was just about a couple of minutes ago. What's good against this one? What's bad against this one? So we're playing Tahm Kench, and like only thing that we care about Tahm Kench, couple of things is enemy can heal up, which can be pretty interesting. 1 mana heal 3 and 1 mana gem. And also against Tahm Kench's capture, we wanna have like at least some attack. So we either kill Tahm Kench with the next attack and finish him off, or we just, well, make him die when he tries to capture us. So Garen actually fits fine. Garen is alright into only the strong, Garen scales, and if you have 2 Stalker's Blades, that's even better. That was challenge 32. 33 we discussed during the Demacian Might. And challenge 10. Yeah, this is only the strong and Ashe. And once again Tahm Kench. So if you have Strength of Stone Epic Relic, then this is what you should be using against Ashe in only the strong challenge. If you do not, things are getting more complicated. And this is exactly the reason why I have my first hard challenge as challenge number 10. So this one is the list into animated armor. So if you have, or we can look at Dying Laughing kind of, that was previously. So animated armor, all these things are great into formidable. If you do not have formidable against challenge number 10, well, we can have like Kayle using gate breakers. So you need Kayle at 3 stars, and Sacred Technique if you have that. If you do not, well, that's just gonna take 1 or 2 more rounds. You play creature, you buff that creature, and you need Kayle in your hand. When Kayle gets power buffs, then you play Kayle, Gatebreaker deals damage to enemy nexus once, twice, and you win, just like that. You do not even need to hit enemy nexus using your creatures on board, you just cosplay 6 stars Ashe and that's it. I completed this challenge using Pine, well, just because he's great into Formidable and I definitely feel like playing Formidable into this one. And also I got to point out that enemies have like 20 and 30 health, so you can just pick a Bluetooth fighter like any male using double Dreadway chase gun and you will just kill enemy nexus this way. Okay. Challenge number 1. This is just Formidable Zoe. Nothing much, 1-star enemy. Challenge number 22. Oh boy, not like this. All units have Formidable. Azir is 3 mana 5/5, but all his soldiers are even weaker. Caitlyn. Against Caitlyn you probably want something like Toughness or maybe Regeneration. I prefer Toughness. Against Azir it's fine to have Toughness too. Regeneration into Formidable is great. Otherwise, well, we can just pick something from this list. Luminous Orb and Regeneration is just a way to go, basically on any champion. You can get Berserker's Buckle, Regeneration and Luminous Orb and play anything, like Tima. 1 drop, 1/4 that is scaling. Enemy will be AFK. Enemy will have nothing to do. Challenge 37. These can go wrong. Animated Armor and Big Fist. So Yasuo can have 2 mana 1/5 creatures, 2 1/5 creatures, those two brothers. And Jinx goes white. Everyone benefits from Big Fist. And everyone gets animated armor. So basically Jinx can have 5 attackers round 2 easily. And each of them will have like 1/4 stats, which is basically 4 damage, 5 minions, 20 damage to our face. In this case, I would probably recommend using spellcaster gameplay instead of actually controlling board. Through why does it keep happening? I want a bigger preview. So the second line, they lose health, so they lose damage too, is probably what I would use into challenge number 37. Victor has Aftershock, and he's kind of scaling, so he's alright. Mel. You need some levels into Mel, but her 2-star power will be insanely great. Twisted Fate red card, Misfortune Make It Rain. Spirit Boss and Kindred can heal up using spells. Drain spell, another drain spell. Veigar is alright. Vex, well, she has some spells. And this is a 2-fight adventure, so if we have that Charging Sigil upgrade, she's insanely strong. Yasuo is alright, since, well, you stun one enemy, you deny a lot of damage, and then you play Yasuo round 3 after stunning enemies several times, right? And they might not be killed instantly, but they will definitely lose a lot of health and damage this way. Caitlyn, traps, very funny interaction. Next, this. This should be homework, once again. Please be creative. Let me show you what I'm using. into 3 spell mana, at least at game start, but every round is pretty good too. So Twisted Fate. I've actually leveled Twisted Fate to like 40 plus, just because I enjoyed playing him into Fizz Adventure. This is just his dream. Like, you get his 3-star power online round 1. You play pick a card, something else, and Twisted Fate round 1 instantly. And you control board, and you have red card. That was... yeah, I'm gonna play it again. This is just way too good. Lilia, 3 spell mana, great into any stronger adventure. You need to have Echoing Spirit, you play Lilia, you play her spell, you play another Lilia round 2. Like, Lilia, sleep Lilia. Next round, she uses Stalker's Blade whenever she wakes up. Then you sleep this Lilia again, you play another Lilia. That's it. Round 3, you have 2 Lilias on board. You're controlling the board using Stalker's Blade. You have Guardian Orbs to scale everything in your deck. Great. Spirit Blossom Ari, she has spells. Kale, she has Blessing of Targon. Nika, well, she does have spells, and I usually just pick her in a way to kill enemy in one round, using Fear Cleaving Axe and Mass Overwhelm. That's all you need. Caitlyn is fine, but this is not really winning for her. This is how you control board. Why? You're just playing cards. Get more stance for why. Spells, 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 spells. Let's take a look at challenges. 38. We did discuss it. This is just Garen by my SMI choice. Garen against Katarina. Controlling Katarina the way I can. Then 28 and 60. Challenge 28. This is really nothing much. You get 3 spell mana. We use a tip to play against Adoribus Lulu. This is kind of whatever. We can use something that was in a recommendation list of playing against Little Bodies, Nature's Revenge, or Iterative Enhancements. Next, challenge 60, we did discuss it. It is an interesting one. Savage Mysticism. Everyone gets a lot of mana. We just play using Chemtech Duplicator, basically any champion. I use Jace. I'm not enjoying Jace playstyle. I'm yet to find whatever I feel like using on him. Yeah. So I was just using my least favorite champion. Mana Flow and Savage Mysticism. I was playing against Lulu, using Oath of the Guardians. Guided Meditation is 10 mana. This is Jinx fight, right? Jinx Fizz, yeah. The first one that we discussed. Power of Observation, 15 and something else. So yeah, we gotta find a way to use a spell every round. Kayle is probably one of my favorite champions into this. Although she's really not that great into Nautilus, but there are different ways to use it. Generic fight, nothing much. This one was already discussed. We are planning against Adoribus, and then we're filtering this by using something that can use Power of Observation correctly. And also planning against Adoribus, if we're planning to play our champions, like Echoing Spirit, Oath of the Guardians and such, we are countering Sovereign's Domination too. Mirror Mage, 17. This can be hidden. Mirror Mage is definitely a home task. All players summon a Mirror Mage. When you play Created Follower, summon an exact copy. When you play Created Spell, copy it with the same targets. So this was when I was using my, I don't remember, 2-star Mel maybe like level 17 Mel or something. I just wanted to try it out and I got my experience of playing Mel. So Dreadway Chase Gun, although Burning Shot is a burst speed, they actually do place themselves in stack. So when you play one created spell of Warning Shot, you will have 2 of those in stack. And I thought it's gonna be 1 damage, 2 damage instantly, right? And then 3 damage, 4 damage instantly, but it wasn't like that. It was actually 2, 2, 4, 4, and then 6, 6, 8, 8. So it's even better. Next we have 14. We did discuss it a bit in our guide 1 week ago, the LDR guide. Playing against Fansmith is vital, and the worst part is that enemy has opportunity to have a lot of attacking pressure round 1, because he will have 2 creatures for free, and then that extra upgrade +1/+0 for 1 creature. Just probably gotta sacrifice 1 creature. That's it. Repetition. This is where I used Luden's Tempest Nika, Warning Shot, Luden's Tempest Nika, just to try it out. Like, this is 10 mana repetition karma. Please be creative. Yeah, Empire above all, I just do not want to play around it. Not my style. Challenge 18. Endure and Empire above all. Just got a control board against these two, against these rules. So I picked Misfortune. Next. Magic Number, Mortal Marks, and Challenge 63, which is Mountain Peak, Vicious Enemy, and probably Yasuo's Power Z. Let me take a look. Yeah, Gathering Storm. So, Magic Number. This is one of the most fun per hour powers in the game. I do have a video recently. It is one of my favorite powers, one of my favorite builds ever. When the player draws a card, set its cost to 3, and whatever card you decided to keep in your hand at game start, those will actually have their cost unchanged. So those 1/2 drops in your hand will still be 1/2 drops. Pick whatever heavy champion, try to roll for whatever heavy support champion too. This is really vital. Minimalist, Magic Number. So Elder Dragon is one of the best champions into this mode, especially if you have that kind of style that I'm doing. Tryndamere will be 3 mana drop instead of 8 mana drop. So please do use Echoing Spirit Tryndamere. If you do not have Echoing Spirit, then Camellia's Necklace and just Tryndamere in general. Although, well, Tryndamere has different job this month. Price of Progress, Fortifying Frosts, Sovereign's Domination, and Afterimage. Volibear is fine into this. You can play Volibear as soon as round 2. Ornn, it doesn't really benefit that much because, well, you want to play something else before playing Ornn usually. So we can just play Ornn, level up, and like kill enemy in 1 attack. But it's alright. Anivia has a lot of higher cost cards, and this will enable her playstyle even better. And also Spirit Blossom Yasuo. This is probably a fancy one. I just didn't try it because I do not have Spirit Blossom Yasuo right now. I will play him as soon as possible. I'm not sure when, probably during Relics of Runeterra relaunch. Just didn't find time to play him during Speed Blossom event. And yeah, that's the list pretty much. Kaisa isn't really one of my favorites into this list, because his deck is actually pretty cheap. He's pretty much the only card that is that expensive. Okay, this challenge is nothing much. This challenge, Rock to Heart, is getting countered by playing huge creatures by magic number, so nothing to discuss. Mortal Marks 49 and 2. This one I highly recommend to use something that is Spellslinger playstyle. Mortal Marks is any player summons a unit set its health to 1, and then Adoribus happens. Either play really strong Adoribus, or I would rather play Spellslinger. So I was using Twisted Fate. I could have used Misfortune too, because we'll just make it train to control it. For some reason, when we play unit, and then it becomes Squirrel, it just dies. No idea why. It just happened this way. Mortal Marks. This is the list. Mel is great into this, obviously her 2-star power is just a menace of this Mortal Marks special rule. Warwick Bloodhound deal 1 damage to 2 units. Caitlyn is fine even on 2 stars, because, well, traps are just killing creatures. Twisted Fate, Misfortune make it rain ability. Vex does have some area of effect damage. And Veigar, if he is jobless, well, you just use Darkness and someone just dies. And we also have this one, right? Blinking Flames, Mortal Marks. You can always stress test your Deadweight Chase Gun builds in this Blinking Flames. That's what I did, using any. And then we have challenge 63, which is an extremely unfortunate challenge to shoot a guide for, because, well, like, this is Vicious Enemy Z. He can play Z round 1, he can play Doskan down round 2, and he can deal easily 40 damage in 1 round. Gathering Storm means that if he has Ribbon Dancer, it will disable one of our blockers, potential blockers. And Mountain Peak means that we can low roll a discount on a spell that spell, creature, whatever card we do not need to play this round. Or maybe we do not need to play it first, so we need to play it last. And enemy can high roll a discount on a win condition card that he wants to play round 1. And, like, from a strategic standpoint, this just cannot be cured. If usually we have at game start like 2 options or 3 options, and enemy has 3 options too, from just strategizing picks, I try to say that, well, if you have this, you have really higher potential and possibility to win. But in this case, against Gathering Storm, against Vicious Enemy, enemy has one more option, he can disable one of our option, and then Mountain Peak doesn't really bring us another option, and enemy has one more option to play to win. So at round 1 we're usually like 3-3 on a scoreboard, but because of Mountain Peak we are like 3 against 5. And Gathering Storm can disable one of our cards too. So this is really tough to recommend something for. It's just, it can go wrong either way. I did complete it using Yasuo. What is this button? Yasuo has 2 mana stun, which can be used against Zed having attack token round 1, so we can disable that, and that's pretty much the story of the game. And then we just survive round 3, then we play Yasuo and it's all good. Tryndamere and Ashe at 4 stars have that ability to frostbite enemy that is just summoned. So it's good. And we will be surviving round 1. Tryndamere is also okay into Mountain Peak, because, well, if you play Tryndamere that is discounted, that's a huge win. Morgana's stun is 3 mana. If we do not have mana flow, this is just not enough. Yasuo's Steel Tempest affects only attacking units, so if Z high rolled Z into Dusk and Dawn, we are still dead. That's still like 50 damage round 1. Ambessa has Rictus with Barrier and instant attack and stunning enemy blocker, stunning enemy creature. So this is kind of alright, this can work, but this is not game winning, you're just surviving round 1. Any can survive round 1 by using that Guile, 1 mana. I used to play Kindred into that, and like I can recommend this, but it's not game winning, it's just a surviving. Evelynn is strong champion, probably can do this, especially if you have Eking Spirit. You got a mulligan for any 2-drop. You play 2-drop and Evelynn and that's it. If you have a spell or Husk Generator at 2-drop, and because of Mountain Peak and Eking Spirit you got discount and Evelynn, then once again you're surviving round 1 against that. That's good. Well, that's probably it for this challenge. Like, otherwise, pick whatever you feel like it's your best, because there is just no guarantees. These are probably 6 or 7 picks to survive, and I think as a guide, this should be best suggestions. That's finally it. In just about 4 hours. Every challenge. Alright guys, so if you have still any questions, if something was unclear, if you wanna share your creativity, especially against repetition, especially against karma repetition, please let me know. I'm reading every comment. I'm checking notifications. I'm live streaming pretty much every week, at least every second day. Have fun playing and good luck.